And now, an on-air sports marketing presentation. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, now on ESPN 620, 98.7 FM HD-2, and streaming live at arizonasports.com. The guys are powered by the law offices of Lerner and Rowe. In a wreck and need a check? Make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. And now on your ESPN station in Phoenix, ESPN 620, Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B.
Welcome into Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B as we are out here at Twin Peaks on Camelback. By the way, it's been a long week for you. Well, Thursdays are the cure. Twin Peaks has ice cold Michelob Ultra and Bud Lights at 29 degrees, scratch-made food, and every lighting up the wall. Kick off your weekend early. Thursday at the Lodge, Twin Peaks, every day is game day. Roc will be here in just a few minutes. Dan Manucci here joining you. Hope you're having a great Thursday so far. We're going to talk a little bit about the drama that still is with Ketel Marte. The second segment, we got a few sound bites. Derek Hall joined the guys this morning, that being Big Clint Mariota. Had a few comments in reference to that. How about the Diamondbacks? Nice win yesterday. Was that the pivotal win that they needed to get them back on track with all of the drama that was going on this week with Ketel Marte? Are those some of the things that they will need in reference to push them forward? They're only one game back of the San Diego Padres as the Padres lost yesterday. So the wild card race will start to heat up. Got a great show planned for you. A lot going on in the business world. A lot going on in college football. Rick Horrow, the sports professor, will join us this afternoon. If you haven't seen it by now, yeah, that's right. The Cardinals take on the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm sure the Cowboy fans will tune in. We're inviting you to tune in at 2:30. Steve Beuerlein, who's the color analyst for your Dallas Cowboys, former quarterback, for the Raiders, for the Carolina Panthers, for the Arizona Cardinals, and, yes, this Dallas Cowboys. He's going to join us at 2:30, talk about this Dallas Cowboys team. How about Tyler Drake? Tyler Drake for Arizona Sports. He's been covering this Cardinals team the entire training camp. He might shed some light on who starts and who doesn't start. As you know, Mike LaFleur, the head coach, shedding a lot of code at who's going to play and who's not going to play. We'll see what his philosophy is for this weekend, this Saturday. And then last but not least, Howard Balzer, a Hall of Fame voter, covering the National Football League for well over 44 years. We'll get his thoughts about this Arizona Cardinals team and some of the other goings-on in the National Football League. Let's start with yesterday's win. A huge win. And more importantly, you get it in reference to getting that in extra innings. You get a walk-off game-winning run. Jose Fernandez, that man, yes, Jose Fernandez gets a walk, and you have a walks in, and this Diamondback team wins 7-6. Now, first time I will say this, lads, that Brandon Pfaadt looked hittable. He looked human after 7 outstanding starts. And that game yesterday, some of the adjustments that the Red Sox made got to him, but I got to tell you, the resolve of the Diamondbacks to come back after 2 days of pure drama and get thumped, I think over the 2 games they've lost 20-5, was impressive with the kind of resolve that this Diamondback team is going to need moving forward as they get ready for a 3-game set versus Cincinnati starting tomorrow. And then, Laz, your Cubs come in town for a 3-game set.
Oh, yeah, baby. I'll be at the games on Monday or Tuesday. I might be on crutches hobbling my way into the stadium, but I wouldn't miss it for the world. But this was a couple weeks, Manuch, that was definitely circled on the calendar, especially that 6-game road trip. You say, all right, this is not going to be an easy 6 games. You're going to go to the East Coast and start with 3 versus the NL East first-place leaders, Atlanta Braves. Then you're going to go up to the white-hot Red Sox, who are arguably playing the best baseball in the league, not only in the second half, but in the last 2 months, really. So the fact that you can walk out of that 6-game road trip at 3-3, you have to hold your shoulders high, your heads high, especially with all the Ketel Marte drama. So I think if anything, you try to put this Marte stuff behind you, you use this emotion to fuel you and help fire yourself up in the clubhouse, bring the guys even closer together. And they all look at each other and say, hey, you know what? Why not us? This is the month where you're going to find out if you're a contender or not. So you come out of that road trip 3-3. Now you got a team in the Reds who really have nothing to play for. You're back home for a nice little homestand. This is your chance to use all this drama and controversy and say, you know what, we succeeded on the road trip, and let's stack together some wins and try to secure ourselves a comfortable spot in the wild card race.
Speaking of those Reds, they lost this afternoon 10-9 to the St. Louis Cardinals. Cardinals are starting to make a move. Heads up. They've lost 6 out of the last 10, to your point, Laz. They're struggling, and you're right. If you're going to make a move and try to get healthy and recover on some of those losses you had on the road, you lost 3 in a row until you won yesterday. Those are some of the things I really feel that Diamondback fans are looking forward to. Now, starting tomorrow, the day off today, probably a much-needed day off after all that they've been through. Maybe it's probably one of those mental days off that these guys have gone through with the emotions, the ups, the downs, and to get that. So tomorrow on the bump will be Erod, and then you got Soroka, who's probably, I would say, going to push 5 to 6 innings. They're still kind of working him into the rotation. And then Brad. And then you begin your series with the Cubbies. So I think that's a good rotation. Diamondback has pitched very, very well. So I think it's a good start for the 3 games to get your guy, your number one guy, that being Erod, on the bump immediately before you take on this Cubs series. Now I will say this: the Diamondbacks, with all the minutiae surrounding them right now, have got to put this behind them. They can't worry about whether Ketel Marte is going to come back or he's not going to come back. They've got to be resolved with that. And I really felt yesterday that the leader of that clubhouse, Nolan Arenado, seems to be the leader of that clubhouse, got the go-ahead base hit, that little bloop single to lead 6-5 in the extra innings. And he's the kind of guy that this team is going to need if you're going to carry this through. Because you look at some of the other guys, I look at Corbin Carroll. Yeah, he does speak. He is a soundbite for what's going on here and there. But I mean, that true veteran leader has got to be Nolan Arenado. I mean, I remember back, would this have ever happened back in the 2001 World Series run? Never.
Yeah,
because
never.
Mark Grace, you would have Schilling, Johnson, Bell, Williams. They would have handled this. They would have known that if Ketel Marte was not there, let's say game call is 3 hours ahead of the game in Boston, they'd have said, hey, where's Ketel? Somebody text him. Let's go. What's up? Who's not getting him? All right. Hey, Clubby, or press secretary. They would, text him. No texting back in those days. And they'd say, go get him. Where's he at? I mean, they would have handled this, and you wouldn't have had all these issues. Now, if he was at the hotel room and he got some bad news, and he's struggling with some personnel issues, and he's got to get home, and then when him getting home, by the way, don't you have an MRI this afternoon, Ketel? Well, I didn't go because of my personal problems. Whatever it was, they would have resolved it. They would have went ahead and just said, okay, let's go ahead and take care of this matter now, and let's just go ahead and make sure that all things are taken care of and not have this going on.
Yeah, I mean, you got to try to just not think about it. Torrey has said all that he's going to say. We've heard multiple reports from Hazen and Hall. It's pretty clear either no one has any idea what's going on, or they all know and no one's going to find out. So now, like Torrey said, you have to get your focus back on baseball. Ketel's going to do whatever he's going to do. This isn't the first time he's gone AWOL and MIA on the team. So now you got to try to find the next man up mentality and use this as some emotion and some fire to string together a few wins and say, you know what, why not let this make us even closer and go on a little run here, win some games. If he comes back, great. If not, it might just be addition by subtraction at this point.
They just our State 48 Rookie. It's your call question of the day, especially after last night, folks. State 48 Rookie, it's your call question of the day. Storm season is here. Is your roof ready? Don't wait for a leak. Call State 48 Roofing today for a free roof inspection. Keep your roof sexy with State 48 Roofing, Arizona's #1 preferred roofer. Visit state48roofing.com or give them a call, 480-268-4828, 480-268-4828. Just go to @Roc and Manuch on X or @Roc and Manuch on Instagram. Do you feel yesterday's win over the Red Sox will get them back on track to contend for a wild card spot? The answers are 1, yes, it will spring them forward, or no, too many pitching flaws. Again, go to @Roc and Manuch on X or Roc and Manuch on Twitter.
You failed to leave something out on that question.
Okay? What was that?
Off-field distractions.
Yeah.
This Camelback deal is a mystery, as we all know. The word weird has been used since day one. I know we're going to talk about it more and more and more throughout the day as information comes out. But that has to play in there. So, Laz, you need to redo the 3 responses for that, because I think that's the question.
So we asked if that win would basically yes or no, or so how would you phrase that?
Because that series is all about the Camelback.
Sure. So does
win or lose.
So moving forward to get them to walk, does that win cure off-field scenarios, if you will? So, Laz, you can put number 3 in there, something that makes sense.
I mean,
did that win cure any kind of drama or distractions with this Arizona Diamondback team?
I mean, the headline alone on Arizona Sports from Derek Hall, Camelback has left the D-backs in the dark about absence of Friday morning. So here we are at 10 minutes after 1 o'clock on a Thursday. This is so bizarre at so many levels.
And the other thing, too, Roc, was interesting was for his agents, his reps to come out with a statement and the Diamondbacks not to have that statement. And the thing that's a mystery is where's the communication or lack thereof been with this organization and his representatives, or this organization and Camelback? It seems like why is there a void of communication where whether it's Derek Hall or Mike Hazen to go meet with him face to face? And I know Mike is looking to, but why would they come out with a statement versus the Diamondbacks? Well, where's the communication with his reps and them? It seems as though the tail's wagging the dog here, in my mind. Camelback is out front. He's doing it his way, and his reps are backing it up. The other thing that really, I guess it came to the forefront yesterday, finally, that it is a personal issue. And with that personal issue, he'll go get his MRI. So obviously he had to get home, deal with whatever personal issue he has. We don't know what it is. And then in the meantime, he'll go get the MRI just to make sure that his knee is okay, if there's any damage. At that standpoint, what that damage is going to be.
I think there's multiple points that we'll discuss throughout the afternoon. The big one, how do we go from missing one game for a personal matter to the general manager refusing to guarantee he plays again this year? That's a massive jump in 72 hours.
Sure.
What does that tell you? And then the other one is, to you, Manuch, you've been in the locker room. You're fighting for a wild card spot. One of your leaders vanishes on you in Boston. The GM admitted it had been a distraction. And you look at the scoreboard, and in 2 nights, you've been outscored 20-5, and you barely come back to win yesterday. And how much did this team take, right? I mean, how much can they take? Well, so there's so many different avenues to go down there. And I know you have to be sensitive to the personal issues and mental health and all that. But where do you draw the line, too?
It's a good point. Now,
where do you draw the line?
Here's the thing. If you are struggling, this is the whole thing that really baffles everybody. If you are struggling, if you got a personal issue at home or you're struggling, why the lack of communication?
I disagree with you on that, Manuch.
Why? I mean, why could they?
It's some people. I mean, I'm not going to get into my personal life, but I was going through some stuff, and everybody's like, "You need to go to therapy."
No. What I'm saying,
no, that's exactly what you just said.
Okay, so
there's no communication. I don't want to communicate with anybody.
All right. So if you're the day of a game, you're at the hotel, and the game is at 7 o'clock first pitch in Boston. You're supposed to be there at 3 o'clock, and the clock's ticking. Nobody's seen him or heard from him. Why couldn't he just pick up the phone or text Tori and say, "Hey, Tori, I'm really struggling. I've got some personal issues," or whatever? There's no excuse for not communicating, Roc.
Well, maybe he doesn't want to communicate. I mean, he doesn't have to communicate.
Well, he's supposed to be at the stadium.
Okay, but he who knows what the hell he's going through?
Okay,
and he doesn't want to talk to me. The ironic part about this is Tori Lovella has known him for a decade.
Sure.
I mean, he's been his guy.
Well, I would
probably maybe not necessarily a father figure, but a close personal
Let me
friend.
tell you, Roc.
We'll get to it, lads. Yeah. We know we got to go to break.
Be in that locker room. If you had any kind of issues, you're sick, or something was up, your responsibility is to contact the trainer or anybody and say, "Hey, look, guys, I'm not going to be able to make it today. I need to stay at the hotel for whatever reason."
I respect that, Manuch, but we don't know the state of mind that he is in to the point where he doesn't want to talk to me. Come on, we've been there. Some of us have been there where you just don't want to talk to him. You know when you get sick and you don't want to talk to anybody.
There's
you
no-
don't want. There's
no excuse,
that's
Rock.
BS,
There's
Manuch. You
no
are
excuse.
so insensitive, Ned.
No.
You are so insensitive
No.
because you do not know what the guy's
I'm
going
sorry, Rock.
through.
If there's I do. I know. I've been there. Done that.
Okay, then you should have some sense.
Okay.
Be
No,
sensitive to
I'm
him.
sensitive to that. But it's still your responsibility.
Okay, it's his responsibility. You have responsibilities. I have responsibilities. There's times in life where you don't fulfill your responsibility.
here's the
you
thing.
shouldn't throw the guy under the bus.
If I can't make it to the show because I'm having some personal issues, or I'm just like, man, I got to call you and text you and say, Rock, I can't make it.
I
Right?
agree, but the fact that he did, we can't beat him up for
Tell you
that.
what, there's no. Yeah, we can. I don't. Yeah, we can.
All right, what
I
if
will.
it comes out that I'm not even going to speculate,
Okay.
but I mean, it's just I don't know. I don't think we can.
Okay.
I don't think you can. I don't think you can comment on that until
Okay,
you know.
okay, so it is okay. He was texting. He was texting Tortorella back and forth a couple times.
So obviously,
And then
Tori knows more than.
Okay, but here,
So does
Tori,
Mike.
Tori started reaching out again. And he ghosted him. He ghosted him 3 or 4 times. Where are you at? What's going on?
I
Hey,
don't
by
know
the
how
way,
much we believe.
he waited 20 minutes before the first pick, before he finally went, okay, Jose Fernandez, we got to put you at third base.
See, maybe
And
he
no one-
felt that he was going to make it.
Well, but when he stopped communicating with him, it was like something's up. That's when they got concerned. Okay.
I get it. I just, but I feel like you're throwing the guy under the bus because he didn't adhere to his responsibility to call the trainer and tell him he's not going to make it, or he's dealing with
He
something.
did not. He was not accountable and not responsible.
And that's on Cattell Marte. We know
Yes,
that.
Yes.
But
So-
again, until we really know what happened,
Okay. All that being said, so you asked me, how do the guys in that clubhouse feel? Right now, those guys are like,
well, that's not what we were talking
I
about.
know, but I'm
Did you want to go back to that?
no, but I'm just saying, this is the third time he stood this team up. A couple years ago, the final week, he didn't want to go. Then last year, the All-Star break, he's a no-show for 3 days. And then this year, this thing. So those guys in that clubhouse are going, I don't know, we can't trust this guy. If we're in the heat of it the last week, hey, Skip, if you put him on the DL, you put him on the 60-day, and he's not here, we'll do it without him. Hopefully, he gets help. He gets all those things squared away because we're thinking about his mental health first and his personal problems. And we do that because all of a sudden, if he comes back in 3 weeks and 2 weeks later, he's a no-show again, you go through this all over again. So I know Matt Case is in a hard predicament.
Yeah, okay, but I think some people out there are acting like this stuff doesn't happen. This happens a lot in sports. You have these divas, the TOs, the Chad Ochocinco's, the ones that are just a cancer in a way to their locker room, and you just deal with it. Cattell Marte is the number 1 player that's played for the Diamondbacks in 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay, he's the Mount Rushmore at this point. Okay, for Diamondback fans in this era. All right,
Sure.
we go back to Luis and Randy and all that. But when you look at Cattell Marte, he's the superstar. He's the diva. I'm not saying it's great, but I blame the front office the first time this happened because they never set a precedence with these superstar athletes. They get so many chances, 9 lives, whatever you want to call it. We enable them so much. I mean, I'm going to get into this thing about Amazon a little bit later on how I'm going to say it's very similar. But it's just, it gets to the point where, like, how many chances do you give a guy?
Well, that's that clubhouse is thinking. They're like, Skip, you've given this guy, hey, when you cry wolf the 3rd time and nobody comes to your rescue, it's actually a wolf that's there, then at that point, that clubhouse is going, hey, Cattell, we love you, man. Take care of yourself.
Absolutely. And that's what we're hearing.
Yes, exactly. And
everybody cares about him first.
Yeah.
And that's the way it should be.
Yeah. But as far as they don't want this to happen, all of a sudden, he's a no-show again.
Well, when it happened
Oh, my
last
God.
year, I mean, they didn't do much. Did he get penalized?
I don't know if they suspended him or not. But, you just don't want this to rear its ugly head from the locker room perspective.
I don't know. Anyway, we went long, lads, and we won't do the rewind today. We'll come back and continue. It's Roc and Manuch, just getting started. Twin Peaks Camelback.
Now open in North Scottsdale, it's the Orangedale Lounge. ODs, right off Thompson Peak and Bell, next to Bash's. Your new favorite dive bar has arrived. Cold drafts, chill vibes, always affordable prices, and the OD Mug Club, a one-of-a-kind membership you won't find anywhere else. No frills, just great people, ice-cold drinks, and a bar that feels like it's always been there. Follow at OD Scottsdale and get the scoop at orangedalelounge.com. Orangedale Lounge. Dive in and drink up.
When it comes to your roof, you don't want to mess around. And Arizona homeowners and business owners have known that for over a decade. State 48 Roofing is Arizona's #1 referred roofer. Residential, commercial, they do it all. And they've been doing it right here in the Valley for over 10 years. Protect your home, protect your business. And hey, keep your roof sexy with State 48 Roofing. Visit state48roofing.com or call 480-268-4509. State 48 Roofing, Arizona's most trusted roof.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. Getting rear-ended once is not enough. Don't let the insurance company hit you again with a lowball offer. Call an experienced attorney who knows how to fight and win. Call Lerner and Rowe today. 977-1900.
This September, Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B take over DraftKings Sportsbook at TPC Scottsdale for the Friday football lock-in. Think you know football? Prove it. Pick 5, take the call-in challenge, and play for cash giveaways. Real competition, real money, more ways to win. No purchase necessary, no bet required. Join Roc and Manuch Fridays from 1 to 4 at DraftKings Sportsbook at TPC Scottsdale. Friday football lock-in. Only on ESPN Phoenix 620.
Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice-cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Step right up, America. Got equipment to sell or looking for something ready to work? Purple Wave Auction. It's as easy as it gets. Easy to sell, easy to buy. Construction, ag, fleet, and government equipment. All no reserve, all online. Register for free.
Go away, get swinging over to PurpleWave.com. PurpleWave.com.
It's Thursday, and welcome to Lodge Mentality. The guys are live at Twin Peaks Phoenix, located at 21st Street in Camelback. Twin Peaks, the ultimate sports lodge and home of the 29-degree beer, served in perfectly frosted 22-ounce mugs. Here's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on ESPN 620.
Still a complete mystery. It's just bizarre. I was on the road with the team. I could tell you, Sunday night at the hotel in Boston, he appeared just fine, and then was just a no-show, as you know. So just bizarre. And we've tried to get answers. Quite honestly, I didn't even go to the game Monday night. We've got a son and his wife who live in Boston, and so I sent them and my wife to the game, and I stayed back at the hotel. Speaking with Mike frequently and letting Cattell know that I was there if he wanted to talk. So just, bizarre. Hopefully we get some more answers today.
Derek Hall, president, Arizona Diamondbacks on Big League Murata this morning. The big quote there, still complete mystery. It's just bizarre. Here's the line of the week. We're going to have to get explanations from him and apologies from him. Plural, explanations, apologies. Hall isn't buying the knee as a reason to skip the park either. And he says if a player is hurt, well, they need to go in and get treatment. So we're not sure what it is. That's why we want to hear what the results of the MRI are right away. And still, we need to know, okay, if you're feeling sore, if you're hurting, why didn't you go right in to have treatment?
And on top of that, Nolan Arenado had an MRI at a Boston hospital. He could have gone over to the same Boston hospital and had an MRI if he weren't feeling it. I think the whole contention was Torrey wanted him to be the DH. He was supposed to be the DH Monday. Didn't feel he wanted to do that. So I just, the whole thing is him not wanting to go get the MRI there. That's a personal issue. Just kind of hiding behind the mask. If it is a personal issue, is he embarrassed? It's a personal issue. He's got to get on a plane and go back. I don't understand the secrecy. So I think Daryl's spot on. Mike Hazen is spot on. You have a responsibility. You have an accountability. He was there at the hotel. He was in his room. Obviously, he was fine as far as being in his room and being there.
How do we know that?
Well, guess if you're not reaching out to the president and CEOs in the same hotel, and you stopped communicating, he had to communicate with somebody, with agents or whoever.
Maybe.
He had to set up the flight to go back to Phoenix to do the MRI.
It's Groundhog's Day. It's the second straight August with Marte on the restricted list. If you recall last year, he goes to the Dominican after the All-Star game. Doesn't tell the team. His house gets robbed, which is in Scottsdale. He apologized. Everybody moved on. Then in June, USA Today's Bob Nightingale, he reports he's frustrated with people inside the building with off days. And then Torey Lovello has to go and defend him. He's on the restricted list. You don't get paid. You don't get service time, accrued service time. This is a guy that's signed through 2030 with an option to 31. His numbers, he's down by all standards and by his standards, okay? And the timing, this team is 61 or 67 and 61. They're in the wild card chase. He's the number one player. You got players that are beat up. You got guys on doing rehab assignments. Vargas is playing second now. And now you got a 6-game homestand that starts tomorrow that you need to have success because you have an opportunity with the Cincinnati Reds in town.
And the Reds have lost 6 out of the last 10. So what a great time.
Win. Yeah.
You need to win. And you get the Cubbies. And you need all hands on deck versus the Cubs because they can score. They can score off.
What we do know, at least by reports, is he was in a hotel bar at 11 o'clock on Sunday. And then you're a no-show on Monday. Nobody's reported a connection, but that detail is out there. And, it's fair to ask. It's fair to ask. And maybe not fair to assume, but
well, they said
it's a mystery.
Yeah, they set the bar. There were guys talking to him, and he seemed fine. And then Corbin Carroll, he said he had texted him just to make sure he's okay. He said at the point of nothing really came back, so they were concerned in that locker room. So I think, it's just there's something. You say diva. I said there's some issues there. I don't know if it's just arrogance or he's not happy or whatever it is.
It's bigger than the team.
Yeah, you can't. You're one of 9 out there. You got to be bought in now.
26.
If he's not bought in, okay, let's sit down and let's talk about it. All right, Cattell, you can bring your rep in if you want to. All right, bring him in. Let's talk. What's the issue? Okay, if you're having some personal issues at home or whatever it is, financial, okay, we'll give you that time. But I want to know, why didn't you communicate that to us? Why are you not talking to us? Because we need to know. We don't know how you were. You scared the hell out of everybody. We find out you're okay. But to the point of responsibility, accountability, the apology, Roc, that's where he's saying you need to apologize to this team for putting them into this predicament. Fortunately, they won last night to kind of, all right, let's move on from this kind of thing. Yeah.
No, it's 3 incidents in 14 months. At what point does personal matter stop? Like right now, it's like it's. I don't want to say it's an excuse. It's a shield, maybe. And then start maybe being now. Maybe you switch that to a pattern, and now we're seeing a pattern. And like Mike Hazen said yesterday on Wolf and Luke, there's no playbook for this, right? No. So it's what do you do? How do you act on this? We always joke about the National Football League and these guys get in trouble and you got to open up the playbook or the rule book and it says, all right, it's, chapter 27, page 185, section A, that's what they get by it's messing up.
It's collectively bargained.
Yes. But that's not the case here.
No.
Because if it truly has something to do with his personal life.
Sure.
You can't go that far.
But the thing is too, if they
we need an HR person.
Well, yeah,
you need a really kick-ass HR person.
You got HR, you got counseling, you got ownership, you got GM, you got everybody involved. But the rules are the rules, Roc. It's very clear cut in that player handbook, ownership handbook. Just that you have to, if there's concerns or issues, you need to know. We whatever the issue is, let us know, and we'll come help you. It's that simple. It really is.
So I'm sure Gambo's going to break, or Steve Gilbert, somebody's going to break the MRI results here soon. So let's look out for that. But, I guess here's the last question, and we're going to get a catch up with Rick Horrow. We'll talk some other stuff, right? But, what can or what does Ketel Marte have to say to you, the listener, the fan, to welcome him back? Or is there nothing he can say?
Well, I think that, if he does talk to the press, says, look, first and foremost, I've been dealing with some stuff. I apologize for not, being more upright with my teammates and my team. I'm working on some stuff here, there. And again, Rock, it's kind of like the guy that cried wolf. That third time, you go, okay, we get it. We understand. We're wishing for the best for you. But there's got to be some kind of guidelines or something there tied to that. If he does this again, there's got to be some stipulations tied to it.
You get more than 3 strikes in baseball.
You're out. You're out, man. You're done.
All right, next up, the man who wrote the book on the business side of sports, Rick Horrow. He's going to join us today alone. Michigan, they're going to start selling ads to the big house. For somebody that has been there before, and if you have, you know what I'm talking about. There is not one ad anywhere from the time you walk and you pull in and you park, or you park it. I think you park on a golf course. There's no ads anywhere. The only ad I ever saw was I went to Michigan, played Cincinnati, and they were playing the Bearcats in the big house, and all I could see is the Powerade cooler. That was the only ad. That was Cincinnati. The only ad that they had, which was interesting. And I'm not getting into Nike jerseys and all that's different, but we're talking about when you go to a stadium and you see all the NASCAR stuff. We're going to get into that with him. We've got some live stuff to get into. The Suns got a new 9,000 square foot screen on the side of the arena. Pretty cool. So we'll catch up with Rick Horrow right after Lads gives us a quick sports update.
It's now time for your Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B's ESPN 620 Sports Center update. I'm Matt Lazarus. The D-backs are off today as they return home from a tough East Coast road trip against the Atlanta Braves and the Boston Red Sox. Arizona now gets a much-needed day off before opening a 3-game weekend set against the Cincinnati Reds at Chase Field as the Snakes look to get the homestand started on the right foot in what is a tight National League wildcard race. Football season starts at Twin Peaks. Get your league together and host your fantasy football draft party at your local lodge. The commissioners will get a $50 Twin Peaks gift card. Enjoy ice-cold 29-degree Bud Light and Michelob Ultra drafts, made from scratch food, wall-to-wall TVs, and everything that you need for draft day. Book your fantasy football draft party at Twin Peaks, your ultimate sports lodge today.
When it's game time in the Valley, you know what time it is. It's Twin Peaks time. Head to Twin Peaks with 5 Valley locations and massive screens everywhere you look. From basketball, baseball, to hockey, fights, and more, there's no better place to catch every play and all the action. Bud Light is a proud partner of sports fans everywhere. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
Hey, it's Jimmy B. Football season is here, and there's never been a better time to grow your business. Partner right now with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, with live endorsement, show sponsorships, featured segments, remote broadcasts, and so much more. YouTube, social media, and commercials, all built around your goals and your budget. Visit rocandmanuch.com and click advertise. Let's grow your business together.
Join the team at All City Towing, Arizona's largest towing company and leader in roadside service. We're hiring dispatchers, call takers, lot attendants, drivers, and customer service pros ready to grow with us. You'll enjoy state-of-the-art equipment, consistent schedules, full health benefits, a strong 401k match, employer life insurance, and a monthly fuel allowance. Take your career to the next level. Apply today at allcitytowing.com. All City Towing, where your future is always moving forward.
Make Azul Bar and Grill your new favorite hangout. Sing along with live karaoke, play bingo, catch the best local bands, or challenge your friends in the game room. Add great food, a fun atmosphere, and a place where everyone feels welcome. And you've got good times waiting at Azul, located at 3134 West Carefree Highway in Tramonto Plaza. See daily events and specials at azulgrill.com.
Don't be fooled by the people you meet on social media. It may start as an innocent conversation, but anyone who tries to sell you pills or powders is nothing more than a drug dealer. And if you think tiny amounts can't do much harm, think again. Fentanyl can end it all. Know the truth about fentanyl at learnmoreaz.org. Don't be fooled. Don't be faked out. Visit learnmoreaz.org. Sponsored by Substance Awareness Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
When I grow up, I want to be a teacher. Because when I'm a teacher, I can help kids to learn and chase their dreams.
PI, a defect of the immune system, affects millions of children. Early and accurate diagnosis and treatment give children like Sam a chance to achieve their dreams.
It takes a lot of caring teachers to make school fun. It took a lot of caring people to keep my dream alive. And now, because of them, I can be head of the class.
For more information, visit the Jeffrey Modell Foundation at info4pi.org.
Time to talk about the business side of sports. Leading expert in the business of sports, author of the new bestseller, The Sport Business Handbook, host of Power of Sports, and architect of over 100 deals worth billions in sports, the sports professor Rick Horrow joins Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on ESPN 620.
Of course, he's a sports professor, hosts of Keeping Score and a bunch of other things. So you can follow him at Rick Horrow and Rick Horrow Ventures. He joins us now. And you know, Rick, you have been with us for at least 3 weeks. I believe you've been in Europe. And since you've been gone, the Lakers have been sold, the Padres have been sold, the Seattle Seahawks have been sold. We just heard who else has just been sold. It looks like the Atlanta Hawks, or Falcons, are going to, a stake is going to be sold. You've missed a lot. You got some catching up to do here on Roc and Manuch today.
So, first of all, a shout out to Sean Ferris and my buddies at Desert Mountain. I've spent a lot of time with them playing golf over in Hungary. I'll tell you about that some other time.
Jeez.
That's not as important to you. Well, but listen, those guys, when we talk about how important parking passes are to me, I guarantee you, I've got some more leverage now. It's not just you,
Dude,
okay? So,
Desert Mountain, come on. You get bigger than that. Is that connections with Jack? When Jack used to have the tradition up there? I know you and Jack Nicholas are like real tight now. You got a golf course together. So, I'm sure that all plays into that.
Lyle Anderson and all of those folks.
God.
Man.
Dude, this is the last time you're on with us, or what?
Wow.
This is the last time you're on with us.
You have not a bad shot. All right, got Pandora's box for you, pal. So I got to tell you, you are, you're an afterthought.
Yeah, I know.
I understand why. You are an afterthought with a capital A. But the presumption that media doesn't filter over there. Look, I did some segments, and I don't know if you saw the one that I did, but we talked about why teams are buying and selling stakes. Well, because they can value the value of their franchise at a much higher number if equity partners and private equity want to get in. And the getting in is not control, but the getting in also means that you get a piece that, if you look at the total value of a franchise, is going to be much higher than just selling an entire piece to somebody, I think. And that's what everybody's looking to do.
So, Rick, some big franchises, right, are going for big dollars. I think that what's the Lakers right now, 12.5 would be the highest of all four major major sports. But if you look in your crystal ball, Rick, is there a organization, a franchise that's going to get $15 billion in a year or two? That maybe on paper we look today and go, oh no, yeah, Seattle Mariners aren't worth that. But maybe because of what you just said, they are, because of what the average fan doesn't see behind the scenes on what they own.
Well, but the other piece of this is that if you want to be a private equity investor and you want as many different opportunities as you can, you're not going to buy the whole thing. You're going to buy a piece that therefore is a percentage value of the total piece, and then everybody's going to say, 8% of X is add the 8%. It's 100%. I'd get into specifics, but I will lose Roc. I don't know if I'll lose Manuch.
Oh,
well, yeah, there you go. Right. Yeah. All right. Stop.
Thank you, stop.
But at the end of the day, people want to get in now. And remember, a couple of years ago, the big question with the NFL was, we are pricing ourselves out of billionaires who can afford this, because there aren't that many that can write a $7, $8, $9 billion check. The answer is let's encourage private equity to come in for a small piece, not control, and then we can say that percentage is a percentage of the total value, and therefore it's a high number. I expect many teams to do this because they're not giving up control.
Rick Horrow joining us here on ESPN Radio Phoenix. Rick, so I was at a business journal function this morning. Graham Rossini was one of the guys on the panel, and he was asked from somebody in the crowd if Arizona State University would consider private equity money, and he said no. And his response was along the lines like, private equity wants to come in, make some money, and then sell. We want long-term relationships, long-term growth. And I thought that was a very interesting response from Graham Rossini, because that's when I heard the question, I was like, of course he's going to say yes. Why would he want that money? And in Arizona State, I don't know if you know this, but you probably do, but they do all their sales in-house. They don't have a Learfield or Play or anything like that. They do everything in-house.
Right.
So just your thoughts on a university turning down millions and millions of dollars.
Well, and just remember, when I was in law school with Ray Anderson, I bought all the dinners. So you got to you got to remember, Arizona State has the unique and exclusive path to frugality. Let's say, yeah. And in all seriousness, I would maybe answer that a little differently. Maybe there are terms under which private equity would be involved, but either couldn't sell quickly or have to pass some hurdles to sell. So I think at the end of the day, you're going to see a lot of schools and a lot of conferences visit private equity against what? Well, television contract pledges, stadium lease pledges. And so private equity companies want certainty to secure their assets. There are a lot of them in athletic departments. So I do think, the trade-off is you have the legislation that will certainly probably pass in September that will raise the NIL limit for schools to maybe $40 million. So where are you going to find it? That's the point. You can't really say we don't like this kind of money unless you're prepared to find something else.
Well, and all that in reference to with Major League Baseball and with the potential lockout coming down the road and all these numbers as far as these owners are concerned, the players are seeing some of these sales, i.e. Padres, other teams down the road. And here the owners want to put a hard cap on their salaries or just a hard cap on the team per se. So when you look at all that, you talked to a lot of people, Rick, in reference to Major League Baseball. Which way is this leaning as of right now? And can it be resolved hopefully before spring training?
Well, yeah. I don't know if it's leaning in any direction. I do think that the interesting part of the baseball process has been how quickly they put an offer on the table that included a revenue share of television for all of the teams. That's the hardest thing to deal with, are the Dodgers and the Yankees and the Mets and the Cubs and the Phillies prepared to share all of their regional revenue from television with everybody else? Well, you don't think so, but I think they'll be outvoted if they try not to. So then you have a process 2 months ago that says we're going to throw all that money in the pot and we're going to put it on the table. But in order for the owner, the players to get a significant share like they do in other sports, we're going to have a floor and we're going to have a cap. So take it or leave it. And I'm not sure we're prepared for the response yet, but it was quicker than I think a lot of people had. Now it's now at the end of the summer and we're going back and forth and no meaningful progress has been made. And, December 1 was almost a foregone lockout conclusion. So the answer to your question about will we have the resolution of this by spring training? How the hell do I know?
Yeah. Well, it seems as though there's so much to do it. Now, in reference to, the players, what is exactly the heartburn for them? Is that if this cap comes into place, you just so eloquently talked about the revenue share, that if the cap comes into place, the teams start to break up, like the National Football League can only keep so many stars for so long and pay them? Is that the major heartburn for these players right now?
Well, the heartburn for the players is a cap means there's going to be a limit on spending generally, no matter what you think. and it will even out where the top players, frankly, may get all of the money where the minimum salary comes into play. But the middle level players, by the way, who are more than any other set of players as far as voting to solve a strike situation or a lockout, they're not going to be able to get as much money if there is a cap, no matter what. The top stars are going to soak it all up at the top, and it may be easier for the middle level players to be cut, limited, and you have young minimum guys coming in. You see that happening all over the National Football League, as you see it. Players are saying in baseball, well, we don't want it to happen here. We've had a number of years where we've got guaranteed contracts. If you don't think so, there is a Bobby Bonilla Day in 2 cities. Yeah. Right. It's the national holiday for Bobby Bonilla. So you know what I'm saying.
Rick, the average person probably doesn't care, but for you, me, and even Manuch, it's kind of cool. Michigan, Big House, announced that they're going to start having advertising in their stadium, on-field branding, the scoreboard, all that kind of stuff. What took them so long? 99 years? Purist tendencies give way to economic realities. The whole equity discussion we just had is a function of athletic directors saying, we got to find some. Look for the naming rights to be all over the place. The names of donors and significant faculty members will still be there, but they'll be the ex-donor at Ford Field, again, to pick an example in Michigan, or Chrysler Field. And so all of those opportunities that were on the table before, generally, now you better do them. Because if you don't, where are you going to get the money? All right, Rick, last one. Just give us some nugget. Coolest place you played when you were over there in Europe. Give us something. Give us. Wow. Yeah, you had to have a moment. We're living, but for the last 10 years we've been living through all your trips, and I've offered multiple times to carry your bag on the airplane, whatever you needed, just to be able to go on some of these trips. So tell us your biggest nugget. All right, so real quick, if I had an opportunity to have somebody designated in life to carry my bag, let me just say, it won't be you. No, I figured. I mean, you're happily married, all that. I get it. I would say the same. You would be carrying my bag either. So you're good. Okay. All right. Wow. There you go. Move on. So we just played a great course, in Austria called Fontana. They lost out to Rome for the Ryder Cup by 1 vote, and it was a beautiful course. And the guys who were with me will testify to that. And then 3 weeks earlier, I played a course called Trevose on the Cornwall side of England after the British Open. Now, I come back in the States? Yeah, for a couple of days, but then not home. So 31 days, many, many nights, longest I've ever done it. And my suitcase was packed with dirty clothes, and not a way they allocated to leave that alone. Oh, man. So you probably had the same challenges when you played here in Arizona with socks, right? You didn't have socks, so you had to borrow black socks. I had those black socks that you go-to make fun of me at, and I did it yet again. Right. That's okay. You probably look normal out there. At least now I know I have a place to park at all major events in Arizona. Yeah, you know how far Desert Mountain is. It's a long Uber ride from there. They'll give you all the parking. It is a long. Hey, but the courses, look. Oh yeah. I don't know if anybody's listening because I told them I was doing this. It is the most beautiful. It's a garden spot, ladies and gentlemen. And if you guys need to play at Desert Mountain, you're going through me. That's all I got to say. Dude, when Renegade is one of my favorite courses in the state. When they had Jack's tournament up there, the tradition, we did show up there multiple times, and beautiful. Desert Mountain is, I'm fortunate to have lived pretty close to there, but you got to have Rick Horrow money to be able to play up there. So kidding. It's like, or you got to know somebody. You got to know somebody pretty good, and you're probably going to say, "Oh yeah, you can play in August." They'll get us on in August, right? When it's 110. August, it's the hottest time of the month. Well, you either know somebody or pre-parking pass issue. I thought you knew everybody, but clearly I failed there. I failed there. Never let you live that down. We love you, Rick. Thanks. Welcome back. Never.
All right. See you next week. Bye.
He's the sports professor, Rick Horrow. You can follow him at Rick Horrow. He's brought to you today by All City Towing. We had his car towed for parking in a bad spot. They're Arizona's largest towing company. Whether you're stranded or you need a professional transport, All City Towing has the experience to get the job done right 24/7. And they're hiring drivers, dispatchers. They're doing it all right now. You can go to their website, allcitytowing.com, and just search careers. All right, football's changing fast. We don't have much time, but we'll get to it. Jason Kelsey is heading into the booth. Pat McAfee, ESPN Takeover. We'll tell you about that and more as we continue from Twin Peaks, Camelback.
Game on Peoria. When it's time to eat big, drink cold, and watch every play, make it Big's American Bar and Grill in the P83 district. Big's is serving up huge portions of your favorites. Burgers, wings, nachos, plus a full bar and TVs everywhere you look. And don't miss happy hour Monday through Thursday, 3 to 6:30 p.m. with $2 off well drinks and $2 off domestic drafts, plus daily specials all week long. Bring your friends, grab a seat on the patio, and settle in for the game. Big's American Bar and Grill, where Peoria comes to play, eat, and watch.
When hot is not an option, Stay Cool delivers. From patios to warehouses, shops to summer events, Stay Cool's Slim Cool Elite and Cool Cube mobile air coolers deliver more air for less money. They're rust-free and backed by more than 40 years of experience keeping you cool. Available now online at Home Depot, Lowe's, and Tractor Supply. Shipped to the store or right to your door. Visit staycool-products.com. Slim Cool Elite and Cool Cube. Get yours today with free shipping and beat the heat.
Lace up for a great cause. Join the 33rd annual Frank Cush Youth Foundation Running for the Broads on Saturday, October 10th at Tempe Beach Park during the Four Peaks Oktoberfest. Every step helps support youth athletics, including girls flag football, Lady Hawk softball, the Frank Cush Scholarship at ASU, Tempe Sister Cities, and kids throughout our community. Register, donate, or volunteer today at Oktoberfest.run. That's Oktoberfest.run. Run. Give back, make a difference.
Rock for WrightToyota.com. At Wright Toyota, they'd like you to get to know them. Their goal is to make buying your next vehicle the kind of experience that earns your recommendation to family and friends. They invite you to use all of their innovative web tools on WrightToyota.com. So if you're looking for a new or pre-owned Toyota, head to their interactive website at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection, all at WrightToyota.com.
Football fans, it's time to draft your team and kick off another season. This year, take your fantasy football draft party to Twin Peaks. Cold drinks, made from scratch food, wall-to-wall TVs. Round up your league, grab a table, and get ready for the picks, the rivalries, and a full season of bragging rights. Start your fantasy season at Twin Peaks. Book your draft party at your local lodge today.
Most pedestrian and bicycle crashes happen early morning or at night. The leading cause? Drivers failing to yield. Since 2010, traffic fatalities for people walking and biking have doubled in Arizona. So stay alert and watch for bicycles and pedestrians. There's no such thing as accidents. Learn more about the risks at azdot.gov/no accidents. This message is brought to you by the Arizona Department of Transportation.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B want to take you back. A quick reflection on some of the more memorable moments in sports and pop culture. Now, time for your Right Toyota on this day report. Right Toyota, right on the corner, right on the price. Right Toyota in Scottsdale.
All right, real quick, Ty Cobb with the single off of Boston's Elmer Myers becomes, at 34, the youngest player ever to reach 3,000 hits, a record that stands this day. He didn't stop there either. Cobb finished with 4,189, amount nobody touched until Pete Rose came around 6 decades later. So there you have it. On this day, brought to you by Right Toyota, right on the corner, right on the price, Right Toyota. And as we move on here, as we are broadcasting from, of course, Twin Peaks in Camelback, Jason Kelsey is officially a game analyst now. ESPN's putting him in their new NFL Network booth. As we know, we lost Dave Pasch as the play-by-play voice, and he is teamed up with another Cardinal, Kurt Warner. So it'll be Jason Kelly, Kurt Warner, and Dave Pasch for the international slate, which is the Colts Commanders in London. They'll do Eagles Jags in London as well the week after. They'll also call the first Paris game They'll have Saints and Steelers. So you got two ballyhooks there. How about that? With, of course, Warner, the Cards legend, and Pash. And that's pretty cool to have those guys together. I'm sure they're real good friends. So I thought that was pretty cool.
I think one of the things with Kurt is like you're just waiting for him to make that move into the booth full time. And we had Mike Mayock on last week, former general manager of the Raiders and draft guru. He'll be doing the radio. He says he'll be there for 3 weeks over in Europe. As you
Probably
mentioned
doing the
there.
same thing there. Yeah, why would you fly back?
You would. He said he'd take the wife. It'll be a 3-week, not quasi, well, I guess quasi vacation.
Pat McAfee is joining Monday Night Countdown. They're positioning him in front center. And they're getting him all ready. I mean, I think we all know that ESPN has the Super Bowl by now, right? I mean, we've seen that coverage.
You think?
So a guy that went from a punter to a YouTube show to licensing his show to ESPN on his own terms is now going to be the face of the biggest pregame franchise for the National Football League, and that'll be Monday Night Football. Of course, we know what he does for game day with ESPN for college, the college game day, but man, I mean, what else can McAfee do? I mean, is this the future of television? I would have to think.
Well, if you got your bell cow and you can ride that horse as long as you can, I think that's what the ESPN is going to do.
All right, good stuff there. All right, coming up, we're going to talk Dallas Cowboys. Yes, you Cowboy fans. Steve Beuerlein, the former Cardinal, he will join us. He's their color analyst. I got Roc's Man Bites, but first, there's a kid on the Cardinals' 90-man roster right now who can hand in his playbook, drive back to Oxford, Mississippi, and play college football this fall. A judge in Louisiana made it legal last night. 16 players, 4 of them on NFL rosters. Is this the dumbest thing college football has ever done, or the smartest move these guys could make? We're going to settle it next. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B here on ESPN Radio Phoenix. We're on 98.7 HD-2 on the FM dial, and we are streaming right now on YouTube and always on the Arizona Sports app. Hour number 2 steps.
Here's the deal. The government is over $38 trillion in debt, which means the IRS isn't slowing down. And the tax code is complex and unforgiving. So it's not surprising if you're one of the millions of Americans that owe back taxes to the IRS. Unfortunately, they're the world's most powerful collection agency, with the ability to garnish your wages, seize your bank accounts, and even take your home or business. But don't be stressed or worried any longer. We're Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. We have resolved over $3 billion in tax debt for our clients. Our award-winning professionals deal with the IRS every single day, protecting our clients and preparing them for the best possible resolution. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, give Optima a call today.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Arizona, your summer upgrade starts now during the Sanderson Ford Summer Sales Event. Get 0% financing for 36 months, 0 payments for 90 days, 0 maintenance fees for 2 years, and $1,000 towards your down payment on select Ford models. Summer won't last forever, and neither will these deals. So hurry in today and choose no hassle, no pressure, no nonsense. Choose Sanderson Ford.
Must be financed through Ford Motor Credit OEC. Not applicable on specialty models. See dealer for select vehicles that qualify. All offers expire 8/31/26.
Let's be honest, summers can be unbearable in Arizona, but there's an answer. And now Presidential Pools is doing their best to make your dream pool a possibility in your own backyard with a limited time full financing offer. 0 closing costs plus $500 cash back. And this offer is good through August 31st. Celebrating 35 years of building Arizona's dream backyards. Go to presidentialpools.com today.
Fight Night is back. And the only place to catch every punch, kick, and knockout is Twin Peaks. Settle in with scratch-made favorites, legendary wings, and 29-degree drafts that hit colder than a heavyweight takedown. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you won't miss a moment. Grab your crew and make it a fight night to remember. Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Looking for a new ride? Make the right choice. Ride Honda in Scottsdale. Whether you're shopping for a fuel-efficient Civic, a family-friendly CRV, the rugged Passport, or the all-new Accord, Ride Honda has the selection, value, and customer service Arizona drivers trust. Plus, their experienced service team is here long after the sale. Visit the showroom on Scottsdale Road just south of Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard or shop anytime at ridehonda.com. That's ridehonda.com, where Arizona drives. Ride Honda.
KTAR AM Phoenix, Arizona's home for the worldwide leader in sports. He's ESPN 620.
Looking for a new ride? Make the right choice. Ride Honda in Scottsdale. Whether you're shopping for a fuel-efficient Civic, a family-friendly CRV, the rugged Passport, or the all-new Accord, Ride Honda has the selection, value, and customer service Arizona drivers trust. Plus, their experienced service team is here long after the sale. Visit the showroom on Scottsdale Road just south of Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard or shop anytime at ridehonda.com. That's ridehonda.com, where Arizona drives. Ride Honda.
It's Thursday, and welcome to Lodge Mentality. The guys are live at Twin Peaks Phoenix, located at 21st Street in Camelback. Twin Peaks, the ultimate sports lodge and home of the 29-degree beer, served in perfectly frosted 22-ounce mugs. Here's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on ESPN 620.
Another edition of Roc's Mailbox coming up in about 15 minutes. Steve Beuerlein, the radio analyst for the Dallas Cowboys, will stop by as well. I don't even know where you would actually put this story, but it's been a weird week. Everything with Ketel Marte and just a lot of odd stuff. You would think that it's full moon all week, but this one, I gotta set this up. So back in June, the NCAA passed a rule: 5 years to play 5 seasons. Now we're talking college football, of course. No more red shirts, no more 6th and 7th year guys. Clean, except it doesn't start until the fall of next year. So the class of 2022, guys who just finished their 4th year this spring, got nothing. They sued on July 31st. A federal judge in Denver said every class of 2022 athlete gets a 5th year right now, this season. But the judge drew one line. If you signed an NFL contract, you're done. Pro rules still apply. All right, now it gets weird. Last night, a state judge in Louisiana erased that line. 16 football players, part of a 30-athlete lawsuit, got a temporary restraining order. 2 things it does. 1, they're eligible to play college ball this fall, even if they signed with an NFL team. The second, they can enter the transfer portal, meaning they don't even have to go back to their old school. They can shop themselves around. It's a bunch of guys from Ole Miss. A couple of them, this one guy, this defensive lineman, Xavier Harris, who was with the Saints, and a couple other guys. And the guy who's on the Cardinals, this Williams Jr., I think it's Whitehead, who's on the Cardinals roster today. You got a guy from Oregon State, Seattle, a couple other guys are with Tampa Bay. Now, their attorneys say the guys are on NFL rosters, the ones that have expressed an interest to be released. Yeah, to be released. They're asking to get out. Their dream is to play in the National Football League, and they're asking to get out. What do you do about that? So there's a countdown now that we get to have fun with. August 30th. College football season starts. That kicks off in a week, and that's the change. So the NCAA is appealing the Colorado, the one I mentioned in Denver, ruling, and we'll fight this one. So this could be gone in a week, or it could be the norm. No one knows.
Well, and on top of that, Roc, if this is allowed, and they take this to court and it's allowed for this year, how about from guys moving on, let's say next year, for the next 2 years, that if you're a 4th-year guy, you come out and you're a bubble guy, who's to say not this year, but every year from here on out, that if you only played 4 years or even 3 years, that if you're not going to make the team, that you have a chance to come back. Even though you've signed an NFL contract, hell, you could sign a Canadian contract. You could sign UFL, IFL, whatever it is. But if you don't use that 5th year, you could come back and use that 5th year. Now, some guys, they'll go to camp. They played all 4 years. They want to move on, and they're going to make the team. Okay, you've solved that. You scratched that itch. But this could be ongoing. I mean, this ruling could go from here on out. If you don't use your 5th year and you're not going to make a team in the National Football League or even Canadian League, and you want to come back, then there's got to be a certain deadline. To your point, if the season starts, to your point, August 30th, that's kickoff. You've got to do that prior to. So if there's guys still in training camp on the bubble, and they're not going to make their final cuts till, let's say, September 5th, opening game September 13th, then they've got to make a decision. But once that drop dead date is August 30th, you got to stay in the National Football League or you're not allowed to come back. This is like, it's kind of like, okay, I'm not going to make it, so I'm going to go back to college, quote, the minor leagues of pro football. But they've got a drop dead date, August 30th, if this is upheld. Otherwise, if a judge overrules this, let's say the Ninth Circuit Court goes, you know what? No. If you've signed an NFL contract, pro contract, stipulation says any amateur athlete that signs a pro contract, you are not allowed to be an amateur anymore. That's got to stick in college football, too. Who's to say?
I don't know you can say the amateur word anymore because they're already getting paid in college.
They're not. Who's to say, okay, so let's go. So there might be some guys in baseball or basketball that go, you know what? I got to go to Europe and play. Can I come back for one more year? So this Pandora's box is being opened for just football.
It's already been open. All right. You may not agree with this take, but I'm going to go there. This isn't a football story. This is a society story. You think about it. We have built a world where nothing's final, right? Let's just use an example. You order something on Amazon. It's on your porch in 2 hours. You don't like it, you throw it in a box, you drop it off at Kohl's, they're done. No questions, no receipt. You don't even have to want it that bad because you knew you could send it right back. Now there's the NFL. You sign a freaking contract.
What
a professional contract, right? You go to camp, you get the swag, you get the gear, you get the per diem, you get to play in a game. Your cut down gig comes. You don't make the 53. You go, screw it, return it. Send me back to Ole Miss. I'll take the NIL money, which is probably more than I was making in my first year in the NFL. I'll try again next sprint. That's not a loophole. That's a return policy, right? It's a return policy. And look, I'm not mad at these players for this at all. I mean, somebody offers you a do-over, you take the do-over, right? Like you, Manuch, incomplete pass, you get another chance, right? But somewhere along the way, we stop believing decisions have weight. It's a problem with our kids. It's a problem with the society. These kids are enabled. We know all about that. But man, when you declared the draft, you declared something. That's gone. That's a 30-day window now, right? So here's what I would do. I don't know if it's a good solution. I don't think it'll happen, but I'm going to throw it out there.
Put it on the table.
Every college in America needs to get off their ass. Every AD, every head coach needs to say one sentence. If you sign a professional contract, you cannot come back, period. We are not a practice squad with a fight song, right? We are not a practice squad with a fight song. You want to be a pro, you go pro. Because if they don't, and if the schools keep calling agents saying, oh, send me back if he gets cut, there's nobody else to blame. They're not the victim of schools. They're the ones accepting the returns. So that's why I call this like an Amazon thing.
I think that's a good comp, Rock. The ADs and coaches got to resist bringing that person back.
Absolutely.
You can't. You're going, you know what? Not here. We're not allowing that here. I mean, the coaches, ADs, to your point, should band together and say, all right.
Exactly.
We are not.
This isn't an SEC Big 12 thing. This is just reality.
Because the NCAA rules already state if you've already signed a pro contract, you're out to come back. So if a judge is going to overrule that, then you got to take a stand. I like to take, Rock. You got to take a stand as an AD around the nation and a coach. Do not give in to these guys coming back. You've got to know whether you play 3 years or 4 years, even 2 years, that once you sign that pro contract, you are not coming back. The door shuts forever. If you get cut, you want to go work, go try the CFL. Go try. There's UFL, there's CFL, there's other avenues for you to go to be a professional athlete. You can't. This isn't minor leagues. This isn't minor league baseball where you go up and down based on your eligibility. If you chose to come out after your third year, you're probably going to be a stud. You'll probably play. But your fourth year, you're a bubble guy. You're a 6th, 7th round guy. You can't have that in the back of your craw that, well, you know what? If this doesn't go good, I'm going to put my name in the portal and look to go to, LSU, da-da-da-da. But I just think those Southeast Conference, all the conferences need to ban or have an unwritten rule not to accept these individuals back, period.
All right, having a long week. Well, Thursday's secure. Twin Peaks has ice cold Michelob Ultra and Bud Lights at 29 degrees. They got the scratch-made food. Every game lighting up on the wall tonight. Raiders, Texans coming up in a couple hours. You kick off your weekend early here at the Lodge. Twin Peaks, your ultimate sports lodge. Every day is game day. All right, coming up, Roc's Man Advice. What never to order in front of your boss. The official list of what counts as cheating, check your phone contacts, and the city that built a museum to its own booing. Oh, that's the best museum ever. I'll tell you about that next. Rock's Advice is next here on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B.
Reputation matters, and Sushi Brokers Arcadia has built theirs on being the best sushi in Arizona. From traditional rolls to bold fusion creations, like our crowd favorite, Seafood Dynamite, and the must-try Sushi Pizza. We've got something for everyone. Our famous happy hour is every day from 3 to 6:30 with fresh favorites like the California Roll, Spicy Tuna Roll, and the Surf and Turf Roll, topped with seared steak. Sushi Brokers Arcadia, 44th Street in Indian School.
Arizona's headquarters for Toyotas is Wright Toyota. Hey, Rock, for my friends at Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. You will always find the right deal at Wright Toyota. Wright Toyota has been driving Arizona's home for years with their amazing service, pricing, and great selection. I encourage you to discover the difference at Wright Toyota. Make the right choice, Wright Toyota, just off the 101 on Frankwood Wright Boulevard, and always online at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection. Check out WrightToyota.com.
When it comes to your roof, you don't want to mess around. And Arizona homeowners and business owners have known that for over a decade. State 48 Roofing is Arizona's #1 referred roofer. Residential, commercial, they do it all. And they've been doing it right here in the Valley for over 10 years. Protect your home, protect your business. And hey, keep your roof sexy with State 48 Roofing. Visit state48roofing.com. or call 480-268-4509. State 48 Roofing, Arizona's most trusted roof. Game on Peoria. When it's time to eat big, drink cold, and watch every play, make it Big's American Bar and Grill in the P83 district. Big's is serving up huge portions of your favorites. Burgers, wings, nachos, plus a full bar and TVs everywhere you look. And don't miss happy hour Monday through Thursday, 3 to 6:30 p.m. with $2 off well drinks and $2 off domestic drafts, plus daily specials all week long. Bring your friends, grab a seat on the patio, and settle in for the game. Big's American Bar and Grill, where Peoria comes to play, eat, and watch.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm Kevin Rowe from Lerner and Rowe, and we've been serving Arizona's for 20 years. Make the best choice after an accident. Call 977-1900. That's 977-1900.
Football fans, it's time to draft your team and kick off another season. This year, take your fantasy football draft party to Twin Peaks. Cold drinks, made from scratch food, wall-to-wall TVs. Round up your league, grab a table, and get ready for the picks, the rivalries, and a full season of bragging rights. Start your fantasy season at Twin Peaks. Book your draft party at your local lodge today.
Do you roll like Rock when it comes to romance?
What do you say we go out on a date? Some chicken, maybe some sex. You know, see what happens.
Rock searches the world for tips on dating, divorce, marriage, pop culture, and even... Yeah, here's Rock's Man price.
60% of the time, it works every time.
All right, we're going to start with work lunch with the boss. Now, fellas, lunch with the boss is a job interview with a side of fries. An expert says that don't order the most expensive thing on the menu, of course. We know that, especially market price. We know that. Or something you couldn't afford. But basically, they're saying go easy on the booze. You got 2 drinks in, you're basically telling them some things that you probably shouldn't. But the whole point of it was match their pace. The boss orders 1 course, you order 1 course. You got to skip the messy stuff. Nobody's ever gotten promoted, with lobster butter, like running down your chin. So you want to stay with that. So be smart about it when it comes to this. All right, new survey,
just
right?
real quick. I couldn't match your pace. There's no way. But you and I had dinner.
I'm done in 3 minutes.
Yeah, you're done. You're quick. But you had a couple. I have my 1 glass of wine.
You want to talk. I want to talk. I don't go to dinner with the boss to talk. I just want just because you just checks a box. All right, you want to go to dinner. No. All right, a new survey ranked a bunch top 10, but I'm not going to get through all of them. But that count as cheating. These are top 10 things that count as cheating. Number 4 on this list is keeping someone in your phone under a fake name. Like if your girl's in there as Mike from the gym, you already know what you're doing there. Also on the list, flirty text threads. Everybody that's listening knows exactly what I'm talking about. I don't say you don't.
Sure.
The secret late messaging, the deleting text. My favorite is the fantasy messaging. That's the what if we were single text, So the man advice here is if you're hiding it, you're cheating. The only thing you get to hide from your partner is a surprise party. That's it. And maybe how much you spent at the sports book.
Sure. Absolutely.
Maybe that is because you're on a, like I got a buddy, he can't do anything. He's like, he tries to do, he always wants to try to get cash from people so he can, so his wife doesn't know.
So now
how much he's spending on alcohol.
There's some things you're funny, honey. I've got this going. Unless she's got control of that purse as far as the purse string.
Our worst drivers by the brand. Again, we're doing Roc's Man Advice, and there's some insurance data that's out there. Just confirm what you already see on the 101, on the 10, on the 51. BMW drivers, they are the worst in America. 45 incidents per 1,000 drivers. They lead the nation in DUIs by the mile. Ram and Tesla round out the podium of shame, right? Best drivers? Chrysler, Cadillac, and Mercury. Mercury? They haven't made those things in 15 years. I had a Mercury Sable. When I moved out here 30 years ago, yeah. So there you have it there. This one, Philadelphia. That's born and raised, okay, South Jersey, Philly guy. They're opening up a museum. Did you see this?
No, I did not.
They're opening up a museum celebrating bad behavior. Booing, brawling, throwing things. This is real. It opens up
September
25th.
Of course.
There's exhibits including the 1968 snowball attack on Santa Claus. Now, everybody brings that up. It was in 58 years ago, and people act like they saw it. No one saw it. They just happened to see the footage.
That's exactly right.
But it was 1968, so it was black and white, right? But it's back then?
Black and white.
So, also, Hitchbot. You know what Hitchbot was?
No, what's Hitchbot?
So there was this so-called, everything's friendly, a friendly Canadian hitchhiking robot that made it across 2 countries before Philly got to Philly, and they destroyed it in 48 hours.
Sure they would.
Now, this museum's only about 300 square feet, which feels small for a city that's been booming since like 1866, right? But here's the twist. And this is where Philly fans get a bad rap. In the 2008 World Series, all the chaos there, fans were flipping cars. But there was one scenario where the car got flipped. Philly fans raised like $4,000 to help the guy. They'll fight for you and they'll pay your deductible.
Wow.
So this thing will run through November 1st, admissions free. So, this is good stuff.
Where they're like batteries that'll be there if we were throwing at
Probably.
games. I just
A lot of booing.
The Philly fans, the heartfelt Philly fans.
And booing at your own superstars like Mike Schmidt. Mike Schmidt would get booed, my favorite player. growing up, and just he would get booed all the time. And as a little kid, I would get so upset. Why are you booing Mike Schmidt?
Donovan McNabb for years. He got
he got booed when he got drafted
Well, that's
because
exactly
they didn't want him out of Syracuse. I didn't either, and then I became a fan of him. I liked him.
So do you walk in? Do you have booing in the background as you walk in? Is background noise to this place? Looking at all the little exhibits, or hey, on this day so and so got booed. On this day they threw a battery at so and so. I could just imagine. But when you said this in the tease, it's got to be Philadelphia.
Yeah, of course.
It's got to be Philly.
All right, this is a quick one for you baseball heads. In the entire history of Major League Baseball, only 33 players have homered in their first at-bat on their very first pitch. Ooh. Here's what the stat is cool. See if you're sitting at the bar later.
Yeah.
8 of them were pitchers. Yeah, pitchers. Now, we know your guy from the Cardinals, Baez. He had 3 the other day, and he hit the first pitch he ever saw in the big league.
Right.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is interesting. You sit there, and then you can over the years you can look, you can see them, but you can't remember the names. A lot of them are no-name guys, or guys that toiled in the minor leagues for many years. But the first pitch is one thing, but their first at bat or their first game could have been the third at bat or fourth at bat.
We'll go back to Philly. We're doing a Rock's Man Bites today here from Twin Peaks in Camelback. All right, there's a blind taste test, that is, at Drexel University in Philly. 77% in a blind taste test, Manuch, preferred instant coffee over drip.
No. Are you serious?
77%.
So Sanka?
Nobody drinks Sanka. They don't even make that
you said
anymore.
instant coffee. That's Sanka.
They don't make that anymore.
I'm sure they do.
I think of Maxwell, maybe. They make Sanka still?
Oh, yeah. They Sanka, Maxwell House, whatever. I mean, you could. I think Sanka was huge in the Manuch household growing up.
All right, but we're talking about right now.
Yeah, I know.
By the way, Sanka, it says here on the World Wide Web, it's 99.7%. It's caffeine free.
So it's a decaf, dry roasted. Just put it in your cup.
Still sell it, man. I don't even remember that logo.
Oh yeah, I remember that as well. So it's
$70 for a case of 12 2-ounce. That's expensive.
So the Folgers, Maxwell House, all those
Folgers, yeah, I remember that one.
Folgers won over drip coffee.
Yeah, how about that?
Oh,
hey, KFC and Oreo is they made a fried chicken cookie. Regular chocolate wafers, but the cream filling is 11 herbs and spices.
Oh no.
No actual chicken is involved.
Oh, so
no chicken is involved, but it's called a fried chicken cookie. It's not here yet. It's in China. It'll get here like everything else.
Coming to the nearest fair in your
Yeah.
neighborhood.
All right, this story is a little weird. There was an online poll that asked, would you drink 1 liter, of course this is in Europe probably, 1 liter of your significant other's bath water for $1,000?
Oh, no.
81% said yes.
Are you serious? Come on. No. I mean that's not gonna work.
81%.
No, number one.
They rinse off first, soak 20 minutes, and then that's your liter. And I guess you're allowed to refrigerate it first.
Oh gosh,
no ice is allowed.
No lemon juice.
You get 8 hours to finish it. $1,000.
Well, who takes a bath anymore anyway? I mean, that's one thing. So it must be a European study. I mean, you go over to Europe, they might have showers, might have a bath, but no, that's not gonna.
YouGov asked 24,000 Americans how many times they use a bath towel before washing. What do you think the most common answer was?
I'm gonna say a week. I'll say 5 days before they change.
And by the way, Manuch just said that, a week. This is also a guy that doesn't clean his ears with a Q-tip.
No.
Every morning I use a Q-tip. And I got to tell you, Manuch, every morning and I hate to say this out loud on the radio, I think of you saying, seriously, how do you not clean your ears?
I do get my towel and I dry it out real deep.
No.
My doctor will not allow.
Your doctor, no disrespect, doctor, whoever you are, you missed that class when you were in.
No.
How do you not use a Q-tip?
No.
I seriously, I've been asking people since you told me this a week ago. I polled probably 25 people.
Yeah.
Not one person does not use in Q-tip.
Well, I don't go like deep. I might use it to the inner.
Whoa. You can't moonwalk down.
No, I'm not.
You literally on air last week, and Laz was there. You said you do not use Q-tips.
I get that, and then I used to just kind of go barely
That is
in there.
so nasty.
Yeah, I just don't.
How do you just? Oh my god!
Because I go to the doctor.
So you go a week without your bath towel too?
No, about
That's
5
nasty.
days.
5?
Yeah, about 5 days.
Man, most common answer was 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Wow, Manuch. I feel sorry for her. You guys use her towel too? You guys share towels?
No, we don't. Quick shower.
All right, last one. Business Insider ranked the best college towns in America. Best college towns. Can you name the number 1 college town?
Oh man.
I unequivocally disagree. I've been there. What a boring campus. Now, if you went to school there, you will hate me for it because you would not agree with me at all. And that's what's crazy about these lists, because if you went to that school, you probably have a different, perspective of the school for somebody who may have just visited to see a football game.
I don't know. I'll throw out. I'll say UT Austin. I'll say Texas.
Which I've been there. That's awesome. They didn't make the list.
Make the list.
Number 1 was Ann Arbor.
Oh, Michigan.
Number two when it comes to the Business Insider, where they rank the best college towns in America, Arizona State, number 2.
No kidding.
How about that? Congrats, guys and gals. Number 3, Charleston, Virginia. That's UVA. 4 was Gainesville, Florida. Of course, University of Florida. Florida State, Tallahassee came in 5th. The one that I would put up there in the top 5 would be Madison, Wisconsin, with 6. I don't know how Berkeley, trees everywhere.
Berkeley?
That was number 7. West Lafayette, Indiana, that's pretty cool. They were 8. That was Purdue. 9 was Wyoming, and then 10 was Illinois. So how about Tempe over Charlottesville and Madison? Wow.
Didn't you go? What was it? It was a Mississippi State or Ole Miss you went to.
Both of them.
Both of them. I
yeah.
thought they were be up there with your report you came back with the march and all that kind of stuff.
Well, this isn't about pregame. This is just best college town.
Okay.
I would make an argument that Flagstaff is an amazing college town.
Sure. Yeah.
Tucson's a great college town.
Manhattan, Kansas.
I would not have put Tempe up there. I definitely would have not put Tempe up there because it's so. We're in the 5th largest city, right? It's like, and then there's Tempe, right? Tempe's great. Bill is awesome. Yeah. But I heard the other day with the what was it? The freshman orientation.
Yes.
Did you see that on the news?
No.
So they did it at Sun Devil. Take a guess how many incoming freshmen are coming this fall.
This year?
Yeah, like how many? It's just freshmen.
I'll say 35,000. 35,000 freshmen.
Freshmen?
I'll say 30. I'll go 30.
Holy. No, 16,000. I thought 16,000 was huge. That's more than a lot of universities.
Yeah. Well, it holds 85.
How do you get 35,000?
Well, because
you hear that number of
85,000.
But that includes. These are no.
You never know. 30,000 coming in. If you're gonna get to 85,000,
they're making a lot. They're making a lot of money. All right, worst defense in the NFL last year. Man, Jerry Jones spent the offseason buying a new defense. We got Dak in year 11. Do you believe he's been around 11 years? Yeah. 2-5. It's his playoff record. Well, Beuerlein, who backed up Troy Aikman in the Super Bowl, he's been to Sun Devil Stadium when he played for the Cardinals, calls games for CBS. He's now the Cowboys radio analyst, and he will join us right after Laz gives us a Twin Peaks sports update.
It's now time for your Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B's ESPN 620 Sports Center update. I'm Matt Lazarus. The D-backs are off today as they return home from a tough East Coast road trip against the Braves and the Red Sox. Arizona now gets a much-needed day off before opening a 3-game weekend set against the Cincinnati Reds at Chase Field as the Snakes look to get the homestand started on the right foot in what is a tight National League wild card race. This Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B Sports Update is powered by Twin Peaks. Football season starts at Twin Peaks. Get your league together and host your fantasy draft party at your local lodge. And commissioners will get a $50 Twin Peaks gift card. Enjoy ice-cold 29-degree Bud Light and Michelob Ultra Draft made from scratch food wall-to-wall TVs, and everything that you need for draft day. Book your fantasy football draft party now at Twin Peaks, your ultimate sports lodge.
Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice-cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
This September, Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B take over DraftKings Sportsbook at TPC Scottsdale for the Friday Football Lock-In. Think you know football? Prove it. Pick 5, take the call-in challenge, and play for cash giveaways. Real competition, real money, more ways to win. No purchase necessary, no bet required. Join Roc and Manuch Fridays from 1 to 4 at DraftKings Sportsbook at TPC Scottsdale. Friday Football Lock-In. Only on ESPN Phoenix 620.
Living in the Valley of the Sun means we're always battling the heat on the golf course, at work, or just getting through the day. To stay sharp, you need more than energy. You need hydration. You need Phoenix Hydration Energy, spelled Phoenix, like the city we love. Phoenix gives you clean, natural energy from green tea, plus 3 times the electrolytes of leading sports drinks. No crash, no junk, just pure performance. Grab Phoenix Hydration Energy today at 7-Eleven, Quick Trip, or Circle K. Phoenix Hydration Energy. Rise up.
Join the team at All City Towing, Arizona's largest towing company and leader in roadside service. We're hiring dispatchers, call takers, lot attendants, drivers, and customer service pros ready to grow with us. You'll enjoy state-of-the-art equipment, consistent schedules, full health benefits, a strong 401k match, employer life insurance, and a monthly fuel allowance. Take your career to the next level. Apply today at allcitytowing.com. All City Towing, where your future is always moving forward.
Psychosis can happen to anyone, and for many different reasons. Mental illness, trauma, stress, even marijuana use can play a role in developing first episode psychosis. If you start experiencing paranoia, hallucinations, or sudden changes in thinking and behavior, you are not alone. Treatment and clinical support is available across Arizona. Rediscover hope. Find help at learnmorefep.org. There is a future with psychosis. Sponsored by Matt Force, working to build healthier communities.
Forgot something inside or picking up food from the store? Never leave a child in a car. In Arizona, heat stroke can happen in seconds. Temperatures can rise 20 degrees in just 10 minutes, making a vehicle dangerously hot. Heat stroke can happen even in the shade or when it's below 60 degrees outside. Once you park, always remember to stop, look, and lock. Visit heatstroke.az.gov to learn more. This message is sponsored by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
It's Thursday. Welcome to Lodge Mentality. The guys are live at Twin Peaks Phoenix, located at 21st Street in Camelback. Twin Peaks, the ultimate sports lodge and home of the 29-degree beer, served in perfectly frosted 22-ounce mugs. Here's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on ESPN 620.
Prescott able to step into it. It's got Pickens. Good move. Nice cutback and a touchdown. Second down and goal. Prescott wide open. Touchdown grab. This time, Flanoy.
All right, joining us to talk some football. Of course, familiar with the Valley of the Sun, of course. Played for the Cardinals, but got a Super Bowl ring with the Dallas Cowboys. 17 years in the NFL. Notre Dame alum as well. CBS NFL analyst, and now doing Cowboy games on the radio side on Compass Media. Steve Beuerlein joins us now here on ESPN Radio Phoenix. Steve, Roc and Manuch, how you doing, bud? What's going on?
How you doing, Manuch? What's going on, buddy?
Good. Appreciate you coming on with us today. I want to start without Cowboys right away, but this is Roc, by the way. But the college.
Sorry, Roc.
No, you're good. You're good. The only time I've ever talked to you is at the Open, so I don't expect you to remember my voice. And with Workus,
yeah,
you know, those guys.
Yeah, at that point.
But Steve, college football got flipped on its head again last night with this local judge in Louisiana basically saying that these college players, can, be at a training camp, get cut, and now go back to college and play for a team, and then even be able to get in the transfer portal if they like. What's your thoughts on something like that?
Well, it doesn't. It doesn't matter at this point anymore. There are no rules. It is a complete debacle from every perspective you look at it from, and it's amazing to me that there's been no governing body that's been established to kind of just find a way to get some sort of control over the situation. I mean, it's obviously you do what you want to do. I mean, from the jump street as far as how soon these guys can start talking to agents, and then they can transfer as many times as they want, and nothing matters at this point. So it's very frustrating. I've been a very, very strong critic of everything from the very beginning, and it's actually turning out worse than I thought it would ever be. But I don't get it. I don't understand it. But it is what it is, and this is the new reality.
Do you see a future where a prominent, maybe former head coach like a Saban or a Neuheisel or somebody like that come in and maybe, I don't know, have some guidance here and basically manage this thing? Or is it going to just be led by the networks?
Well, the networks obviously are going to have a lot of say in how it all plays out. But as far as being able to pull coaches and programs together, I think a guy like Saban or Rick Neuheisel would be fantastic. And, once you win over one of the major conferences, I think the others will follow suit. But it becomes a situation where I think everybody understands that it is not possible to continue with things changing and developing and evolving at this pace. It's not realistic that this is going to be it's not sustainable. And I think everybody really does understand that. He's talking to Marcus Freeman. I go back to Notre Dame once in a while. That was his perspective, that somehow, some way, we've got to find a way to get control of this situation and have some sort of rules that everybody has to follow, or it's just not sustainable.
Steve, it's Manuch. Always great to catch up with you. Speaking of Notre Dame, how nice is it, this is kind of sad to say, that Notre Dame and USC are going to renew the rivalry, and why the hell would they stop it in the first place?
Well, have they come out and said officially that it's going to be renewed?
Yes, they have.
When did that come out?
I think a couple of years in 2017.
No, I mean, when it came out,
right? I know.
It came out maybe, what did we talked about on the air?
About a month and a half ago.
Not that long.
It's been recent.
Yeah, I know they're gonna play again in 2030, but they're gonna lose. The rivalry is gonna be back intact. I didn't know that. I think the whole thing was
just
it was very sad. This is something that again, with the realignment, how many teams there are in each of these conferences now, and with the scheduling and everything else, it was inevitable that there was going to be some kind of a trickle down like this. I was very disappointed. It's such a meaningful rivalry to both schools, and both schools are pointing at the other one, trying to blame them for how we got in this position in the first place, like you said. But I think both universities realize the significance of that game and want to get it back, and the fact that they've got it scheduled again in 2030 and moving forward, I think it's fantastic. But yeah, the fact that it got to this point in the first place is pretty ridiculous too, for sure.
Steve Beuerlein joining us here on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on ESPN Radio Phoenix. Last year, the Cowboys, the defense, I believe they gave up like somewhere around 30 points a game. Worst in the league, worst in franchise history. Jerry Jones went out. They got a lot of guys this offseason. From what you have been able to see in just a short amount of time, what's your thoughts on the defense? That's obviously been their Achilles heel the last couple of years.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, it's really going to be squarely on Dak Prescott now, I think. When push comes to shove down the stretch, if this defense plays just at a decent level, at a level that just keeps them competitive with what the offense has done over the last several years, you would think that would be enough to make a huge difference. Using the first 3 draft choices this year, be it Caleb Downs, Malachi Lawrence, and Jay Sean Barham. Those are 3 impact players that are probably going to start from the get-go. Malachi will be in a rotation, obviously, coming off the edge. But then, the trades that they've made this year, bringing in Rashawn Gary, and you combine that with, obviously, the trade during the season last year for Quinnen Williams and then getting him locked up long-term. This has been a totally different mentality from Jerry Jones and the Cowboys organization this year. It seems like they are going for broke this year. They realize that they've got a chance, and they've only got probably a very small, short life left as far as having this offense intact and able to produce at the level they're producing. So it's going to be kind of a now or never mentality, I think, this year and maybe next year. And I think they're hoping that that'll be the magic ticket to get them where they want to go. So I'm encouraged. The first time since I've been covering the Cowboys for the national radio, this is my 3rd year doing it. But it's the first time that I really felt good going into the season about what this team is capable of doing, both sides of the ball. And really, and Manuch, you know this, Dak, as great as he's been and as consistent as he's been, the one thing he's not ever done, he's not taken the Cowboys deep on a playoff run. They've had some pretty good teams. And he's just not been able to show up and produce in the big game down the stretch. I think he's going to have that opportunity this year to get that monkey off his back. We'll see if he's ready for it.
And that's what I was going to ask you, Steve. Do they put him in situations where, to that point, he can't produce when it's crunch time? Now, you've watched him the last 3 years. There's the pros and the cons. What are some of those cons you feel as an ex-quarterback? You played a long time with some really good coaches that he can fix, hopefully, for the Cowboy fans to see his team get over the hump and maybe get deep in the playoffs, if not make a Super Bowl run here the next couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, you can go a lot of different ways. People talk about how prolific this offense is. But when they're playing from behind all the time, you got to put the ball up in the air. You got to throw it, and that obviously impacts the overall statistics and things like that. You'd much rather, and I know Brian Schottenheimer would much rather have a very balanced offensive attack that controls the ball and keeps the ball away from some of these other high-powered offenses at the NFL. And really get you feature that run game, the play action off of it. You've got so many big play guys on the outside in this offense, and even working inside. Ferguson. I've just drawn a blank on Jake Ferguson's name, but he had a big year last year in the red zone. They've got a lot of weapons in this offense, but they don't want to have to score 35 points a game to even have a chance to win. And, that's the mentality I'm sure they've got coming into this season. Dak has had, as I mentioned before, had opportunities. You go back just 3 years ago, I believe it was 3 years ago, when they had the home game against Green Bay, and everybody thought the Cowboys were going to roll over the Packers, but the Packers came out, put up some points early. Dak threw a pick six. That game got out of hand. It was ugly. And that was the start of some really bad days for the Cowboys over the last couple of years. But it really is going to come down, I think, to Dak and him staying healthy, but also producing down the stretch in the big games.
And on top of that, you look at the CD Lambs, the George Pickens, you mentioned Jake Ferguson. I mean, on paper, Steve, this team is, loaded offensively, defensively, hopefully, as Roc alluded to, some of the changes that they've had. But what about the depth? It seems like when you guys get hurt or injured, that's where the offense and the defense seems to fall off.
Well, yeah, for sure. But I think you look at what they've got offensively, for sure. They've addressed a lot of those issues, and you see the development of guys like Jaden Blue. I think they've got very high hopes for him after a very disappointing rookie year for him last year. He seems to, the overall mentality and belief is that he really has matured and he's ready to assume that backup role to Javonte Williams, who had a great year last year running the football. I thought he was one of the most impressive running backs in the league last year. And then Malik Davis as a third guy, when he had to come in and spell Javonte last year, he did a very effective job. And so we've now got three running backs who can rotate in there. At receiver, you got George Pickens and CD, as we know, but then you got guys like Florney, I can never pronounce his name right, but Florney, that has stepped up big the second half of the season last year as a third wide receiver. They worked Devontae Turpin into the offense as well, find ways to get him the ball on reverses, on screen passes, different little things to get him just the ball out in the open field. They've got a lot of weapons that they can get the ball to on that offense, and they've got good depth there. And I think this year, defensively, they've done a nice job through the draft and through some of the free agents. They've got more depth on that side of the ball as well. We've got last year, our safeties were a liability. There was a lot of liabilities on that team, let's be honest. But safeties were really, really a liability. Well, now we've got not only Caleb Downs back there, but we went and found a way to get a few other impact safety players as well that can be involved with that to really button up the top end of that secondary. So I'm excited about it and eager to see how it all plays itself out.
Last one for you. The addition of Von Miller with the Cowboys, what does that add? And then for the Cowboy fans coming out to State Farm on Saturday, how many or will we see the starters for the Cowboys at all?
I don't know the answer to that second question. I'm not exactly sure what the rotation is going to be. In my role as, we do the national broadcast, so we don't really work directly for the Cowboys. I work for Compass Media Networks. We have the rights to the Cowboys, and we get, we can talk to Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones and whatever coaches we want to talk to, but we don't get the access in general to get inside of what's going on with their game plan. So I'm not exactly sure what that's going to be. But as far as talking about Von Miller, what that does, we were just talking about depth, right? We're talking about the number of guys that you can rotate. If you can just use him as a situational pass rusher, work him into that rotation and really take advantage of his unique skill set that he's proven over the years of his career. And he can just show up and play hard and play fresh, maybe 10 to 15 plays a game. That's going to be impactful when you look at the over the course of the season, having a guy like that you can rotate into those big situations where you need him coming off the edge with all his experience. I think it's going to pay off for him down the road.
Steve, really appreciate you coming on with us, man. Thank you. It should be a great season as always, and hopefully we'll catch up with you again down the road.
You got it, guys. Love it. And I did have a great time in Arizona playing for the Cardinals, at least 1 year. The first year with Joe Bugle. The second year with Buddy Ryan, I didn't want to talk about that. But but I enjoyed living out there in the Valley, and I was really sad that it didn't work out. That's how we had a pretty good roster there that we could have done some good things, but wasn't meant to be. So appreciate it, though, guys. Love it out there.
Thank you. That's Steve Beuerlein joining us here on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on ESPN Radio 620. All right, ladies have been dominating the pick sport, and we need a hero caller. We'll take call number 5, 602-230-0620 at 230-0620. We'll get into that next. We'll talk to, hopefully, it's going to be Bambi. Yes. Bambi will be the contestant that you are competing against. And Glenn, who we had on last week, lost. So these girls are 40-16. 2 games you'll be selected. And if you want to come on the air, great. If you don't, no sweat. 49ers at Chargers, Cowboys at Cardinals. We need to score both those games. Roc Manuch with Jimmy B continues for Twin Peaks Camelback.
Hi, how can I help? Well, my husband and I feel like we've outgrown our current money manager. I see. Our lives have changed, and we need something more than just mutual funds to help us in retirement.
She's right.
I hear that often. At Fisher Investments, we'd start by getting to know you, your finances, family, health, lifestyle. We tailor a portfolio around your goals and needs.
Sounds good.
Can you help with estate planning?
Yes, we have a team of specialists who can help you with estate planning, Social Security, investment income, and more. We'll get to know your whole financial picture and help keep you on the path to a comfortable retirement.
And your fees?
We have a simple, transparent fee that's a percentage of the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better.
I feel better already.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com/different. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Hey, it's Paul Caldisi with Matt Degas, president of Bright Wealth Management. All right, Matt, estate planning. People know they need it. Most never do it. What is the cost of waiting?
Well, their family pays for it. Probate, legal fees, delays, sometimes conflicts between people who love each other, all because there was no clear plan.
And a will isn't enough?
Usually not, and here's what most people miss. Beneficiary designations override everything. Wrong name, outdated info, and the money doesn't go where you think. Unfortunately, we've seen it happen.
So what does the right plan look like?
A funded trust, updated beneficiaries, powers of attorney, all aligned with your financial picture. A plan your family can actually use when they need it most.
And you walk people through all that.
Step by step. Call 844-726-9116 and schedule your legacy review. Protect the people you care about today. 844-726-9116 or brightwm.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Foundations Investment Advisors LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. The content provided is for educational purposes only.
Make Azul Bar and Grill your new favorite hangout. Sing along with live karaoke, play bingo, catch the best local bands, or challenge your friends in the game room. Add great food, a fun atmosphere, and a place where everyone feels welcome. And you've got good times waiting at Azul, located at 3134 West Carefree Highway in Tremonto Plaza. See daily events and specials at azulgrill.com.
This September, Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B are live Fridays at DraftKings Sportsbook at TPC Scottsdale for the Friday Football Lock-In. Pick 5, take the call-in challenge, and win cash. Fridays 1 to 4, only on ESPN Phoenix 620.
Arizona Sports YouTube channel for live shows, podcasts, viral clips, shorts, and more. Just the local sports leader doing what we do on YouTube. Serve yourself some Arizona sports. Subscribe to the Arizona Sports YouTube channel.
KTAR AM Phoenix, Arizona's home for the worldwide leader in sports, is ESPN 620. Are you ready? It's your weekly chance to challenge one of the beautiful girls from Twin Peaks. It's Peaks Picks. The Twin Peaks girls are the essential ingredient to the perfect lodge experience. Each week, our girl next door Twin Peaks contestant takes on an ESPN 620 listener for 3 games. Get the most picks right. Win a $25 man card for one of the 5 Valley Twin Peaks locations: Scottsdale, Phoenix, Glendale, Tempe, and Deer Valley. Now, time for Peaks Picks.
All right, Bambi joins us here from the Twin Peaks in Phoenix on Camelback. And Bambi, where are you from originally?
I'm from Phoenix, Arizona.
What high school did you go to?
I went to a few different high schools.
A few? Okay.
Yeah.
And how long you been at Twin Peaks?
It's for 2 years now.
And when are you normally here?
I want to say in the morning from like Tuesday. It just depends. Maybe Tuesday through Thursday. Yeah, just depending.
You love working here, right?
I like it.
Good. And you ready for football season? Because it gets
I
busy,
am.
make some money, right?
I'm excited.
Make some money. I saw you.
I like watching the games. It's pretty fun.
Do you have a particular football team you like to watch?
Not necessarily.
Or
I
a
like to
particular
just
player, or
no. I just like to watch them all, honestly. And then like when the tables come in, I like to go against their team. You know what I mean? Make it funner. You know?
Yeah, I like that.
But yeah.
All right, so you're going to help us pick 2 games, okay?
Okay.
They're preseason games. We're going to do the 49ers are playing the Chargers. That's tonight. And then we'll do the Cowboys are playing the Cardinals on Saturday. Now, Mike in Phoenix already called in. He's given his picks. So if he beats you, he's going to get a gift card to come in and see it. How's that, right?
Okay.
A Twin Peaks man card, right? So I will tell you, the girls have won 6-7 straight weeks.
Oh, easy.
Yeah. I
They're on
mean,
a
they're
roll.
on fire.
Yeah,
so
they
you
are.
have a little bit of pressure. Okay.
Okay.
Look. All right, so let's go. 49ers are playing the Chargers. Who would you like to see win this game?
Let's say the 49ers.
All right, she's going 49ers. Okay. And what did Mike go with, Laz?
Mike went with the Chargers.
Chargers. Okay.
All right, second game now. Give me a winner and a score on this one here. As we mentioned, Cardinals are taking on the Cowboys Saturday night. Cardinals, offense is moving. Cowboys won last week. Who do you like in this one?
I'm praying for the Cardinals.
All right.
All right, go Cardinals.
What kind of score are you going to get?
Let's say like 24-14.
Love it.
Cardinals?
24-14.
Yeah.
All right, look
Okay.
at you. All right.
All right, what's Mike going with, Laz?
Mike went with the Cowboys. He said he's a Cowboy fan. He went with them 28-14.
28-14. All right, good stuff. See, that wasn't that hard, was it, man?
No.
That was easy as a piece of cake. Now, here's the real hard part.
Okay.
Tell us when happy hour starts and what's going on at happy hour.
Happy hour starts from 3 to 6 and then from 10 to close.
Okay.
And then today on special we have Bush Light, Coors Light, our classic meal, and then Mother Road Tire Station.
Okay, and I heard the Busch Lights are the aluminums, right?
Yes.
They go pretty popular. Sure, they're pretty popular.
Yeah, today at Bachelorette, they got a lot of them today.
Did
I was
they
like,
really?
okay, they wanted a bucket. Couldn't do that though. But
There you go. Well, thank you, Mammy. Appreciate it. It was that
Of
easy.
course.
So that's
Thank you,
Mammy
Mammy.
joining us
Thank
here.
you.
Come visit her at the Twin Peaks in Phoenix. And by the way, the football season starts here. You can get your league together. You can host your fantasy football draft here on any of the local lodges. There's 5 of them to choose from. Commissioners will get a $50 Twin Peaks gift card. You can take advantage of Michelob Ultra Draft specials, the Bud Lights, 29 degrees, of course, all that, the made from scratch food, the wall-to-wall TVs, everything you need for draft day. So book your fantasy football draft party at Twin Peaks. Your best bet is you can call any of the 5 locations, or better yet, just walk in and pick your spot so you'll know exactly. You can say, hey, I want to reserve that table. I got 20 guys, 16 guys, whatever you want, you can do that. So I appreciate Mammy taking care of that. As we kind of squeeze in some football at 50, some things that we missed in the last hour when we typically do it was where was it? My notes here.
Well, I'll throw one at you.
You're going to probably know. Yeah, why not? Yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
You're bringing something to the table.
Yeah, we got Brent Venables, OU head coach,
Yeah, who
just
cares?
signed an extension, $10.5 million
cares?
bucks, Rock.
The only reason why he made this
10 and a
because
half.
you wouldn't even mention him if he wasn't at Kansas State at one time.
He was a K-State alum, and I coached under Coach Snyder for several years. I guess the key is he finally took that defense over last year, got him to the playoffs, and they're rewarding him a 2-year extension. He was at 8.5. Gave him a bump. He's going to get the $10.5 million moving on from there, and that's you look at things like that. And you go, okay, if Kenny Dillingham continues to have success, all right, Graham Rossini, athletic director, here's the comp. Here's one of your latest comps. If he gets him to the playoffs again, that if you extend out Kenny Dillingham, your number, you're going to probably be pushing $10.5 million because he took him there his second year. And then the first couple of years under Venables, they struggled. But last year, they finally go to the playoffs.
Yeah, interesting. I want to dive into, I was at this Business Journal event this morning on the growth of sports, more particularly in the East Valley and what's going on out there. It was amazing. Business Journal did a great job. Graham Rossini was one of the speakers, and we talked about private equity. So I do want to get back into that if we have some time in the next hour. But what we want to lead off with is if you sign an NFL contract, you grind through camp, you play in a preseason game, then the countdown day rolls around, and you look at the depth chart, and you see the practice squad money, and you say, forget it, going back to school. As of last night, the court says you can. Well, one of the Cardinals players is one of them that could take advantage of this. We're going to dive into this story next. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B from Twin Peaks, Camelback.
Living in the Valley of the Sun means we're always battling the heat on the golf course, at work, or just getting through the day. To stay sharp, you need more than energy. You need hydration. You need Phoenix Hydration Energy. Spelled Phoenix, like the city we love. Phoenix gives you clean, natural energy from green tea, plus 3 times the electrolytes of leading sports drinks. No crash, no junk, just pure performance. Grab Phoenix Hydration Energy today at 7-Eleven, Quick Trip, or Circle K. Phoenix Hydration Energy. Rise up.
Arizona. Get ready for live music and golf under the lights. Saturday, September 12th, Yellow Jacket Overtime takes over grass clippings in Tempe. See Arizona native and national recording artist Sydney Bird live at 6:30. GA and VIP tickets, private seating, and night golf foursomes are available. Plus, every ticket supports Arizona classrooms through Wishes for Teachers. Yellow Jacket Overtime, September 12th. Tickets at yjovertime.com.
When hot is not an option, Stay Cool delivers. From patios to warehouses, shops to summer events, Stay Cool's Slim Cool Elite and Cool Cube mobile air coolers deliver more air for less money. They're rust-free and backed by more than 40 years of experience keeping you cool. Available now online at Home Depot, Lowe's, and Tractor Supply. Shipped to the store or right to your door. Visit staycool-products.com. Slim Cool Elite and Cool Cube. Get yours today with free shipping and beat the heat. Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice-cold Bud Light or refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Hey there, folks. If you're buying or selling equipment, ride the way.
Purple Wave Auction makes it easy to sell.
Easy to buy. Construction, ag, fleet, and government equipment. All no reserve. All online.
All online.
Cruise on over to purplewave.com and get in the groove today.
When driving in Arizona, move over or slow down for any flashing lights. Move over for tow truck drivers, highway crews, and emergency responders. Move over for any vehicle with its hazards flashing. Because at 65 miles per hour, a vehicle travels over 95 feet in 1 second. 1 second that could change everything. When you move over for anyone, you're not just doing it for them, you're doing it for their families. Their lives are flashing before your eyes. Move over, Arizona. Every vehicle, every time. It's the law. Please visit moveoveraz.org. This message is brought to you by ADOT and this station.
Yes. It's Thursday. Welcome to Lodge Mentality. The guys are live at Twin Peaks Phoenix, located at 21st Street in Camelback. Twin Peaks, the ultimate sports lodge and home of the 29-degree beer, served in perfectly frosted 22-ounce mugs. Here's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on ESPN 620.
Tyler Drake, Arizona Sports. Howard Balzer still to come from CardsWire in this hour as we welcome you to Twin Peaks in Phoenix on Camelback. We are on YouTube. You can also hear us on, of course, ESPN 620, 98.7 HD-2, the Arizona Sports app, tune in, we're everywhere. Roc and Manuch. All right, last night a state judge in Louisiana erased this line that a federal judge put in Denver that said that every class of 2022 athlete gets a fifth year. But he also put in that line that if you sign a NFL contract, you're done. Pro rules still apply. So the state judge, as part of a 33 athlete lawsuit, got a temporary restraining order. Now, two things this does. One, they are eligible now to play college ball this fall, even if they sign with an NFL team. And then second, they can enter the transfer portal. Meaning they don't even have to go back to the school, the old school. They can shop. So there's some guys out there, a couple guys from Ole Miss that are on NFL teams with the Browns, Saints, and then you got Wyatt Williams Jr., who is a safety. He's on the Cardinals roster. He is an Ole Miss kid. He could go back. There's an Oregon State guy. There's an LSU. There's Florida. I can go on and on. So their attorney says the guys on NFL rosters have expressed an interest to be released. Yeah, let me read that again. They've expressed an interest to release. These are guys that haven't even made the squad, the NFL roster, and they're asking to get cut. They're asking to get cut. Now, the cut down day in the NFL is August 30th. College football season kicks off, a week? 28th, I think college game
Zero
day.
week next week.
And the NCAA is appealing the Denver, Colorado ruling. They're gonna fight this one too. So this could be gone in a week, or it could be the normal. Steve Beuerlein thinks it's going to be the normal. Nobody really knows, but you're following the money here. This is just crazy. An undrafted free agent on a practice squad makes roughly $13,000 a week. No guarantee he's going to be there in October. A starting SEC safety, let's say, with a good NIL collective behind him, can clear $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 for one season, plus another year of film, plus a real shot at getting drafted instead of walking on. It's not a loophole. That's just a better job offer. But what is going on here is just the NCAA did this to themselves.
Sure did.
They have screwed up in so many ways. Going pro used to mean something, right?
Absolutely.
You declare, you sign, you're professional. Sure. You get an NFL tryout. There's no return policy.
No, not at all. Hey, once you sign that contract, you're done. And this whole thing that the judge in Colorado, as you mentioned, said, hey, look, you got the 5 years, but if we're gonna start it as of 2026. So if you're 2022, you're out of luck. You've already played your 4 years, your 3 years, and if you've already signed, we're moving in. So this restraining order is say, hey, time out. Well, that's not fair. You're allowing those guys from here on out to go a full 5 years. We weren't allowed to go 5 years. Okay, tough luck. Now they're saying, well, we want to put an injunction on this. So if it looks like we're not going to make even the practice squad, or if we are, to your point, Roc, pretty creative there, we're going to make $13,000 a week, and I can go sign an NIL deal as a safety at LSU or Ole Miss, and I may make, I don't know, $150,000, $200,000. Well, obviously, you're going to come back and make that kind of money. But the whole thing is, and it is in the bylaws, it's been in there forever and a day, that the NCAA has stipulated, once you sign a professional contract, that you are a pro and you're no longer an amateur. And this thing right now, I'm anxious to see what kind of appeals the NCAA can win with it. But you're right. They opened up Pandora's box with this NIL thing. They opened it up with the transfers in reference to moving on with no penalties. So at least the judges said, out of Colorado initially, you got 5 years. Starting now, game, set, match. But if you leave after your 4th year and you sign a contract, sorry, you're out of luck.
We've built a world where nothing is final. And what I mean by that, I'm going to use Amazon as an example. You order something on Amazon. It's on your porch in a couple hours. You don't like it. You throw it in a box. You drop it at the UPS store or Kohl's. No questions, no receipt. You don't even need a receipt. You don't even have it in the same box it came in. And you didn't even have to want it back because you knew, all right, let me order all this stuff. I'm just going to send it back.
Sure, yeah.
And now that's the NFL. You sign a contract, a professional contract. You go to the camp, you get the swag, you get the gear, you get the per diem, you get to play in a preseason game. Cut down day comes. You don't make the 53. So, I'll just return it. Yeah, send me back to Ole Miss.
Just give it a try.
Yeah, I'll take my NIL money. I'll try again. I'll come back next spring.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a return policy. And this judge in Louisiana just gave college football free returns. Yeah, just like Amazon. Free returns. That's WTF. Seriously. And I want to add, I know you want to jump in, Manuch, but, I mean, I'm not mad at the players. I get it. They've been enabled since they were born in these kids these days. Somebody offers you a do-over, you take a do-over. I get that. But somewhere along the way, we stopped believing decisions have weight. You can tell Marte. He has a responsibility, as you said, to play baseball, to show up, and if you don't show up, you tell your boss why you didn't show up, right? You just don't, I don't want to go.
You're accountable too.
So in this situation, you declare for the draft. You've declared for something, that's gone. That's totally gone. So what do we do now? I think my solution, and I think Manuch, you agreed when we talked about this earlier in the show, was every college needs to stand up together and just use this quote. If you sign a professional contract, you cannot come back, period. Because what we're seeing here in NFL, you're enabling these kids too. You're allowing them to be a practice squad.
Number one, it's always been there that if you sign a professional contract, you can never come back. Matter of fact, it starts before the draft. If you sign an agent,
yeah.
You're
that's
done.
out the window.
Yeah, you're done. It's out the window. Now, I think that the football guys kind of picked up on this. Weren't there a couple of basketball players went over to played either the G League that were allowed to come back as well too? So that kind of gave whatever attorney, whoever stimulated this, to say, look, if those two basketball players are free, and I'm not quite sure, Laz, you can look that up for me, that they're allowed to come back. I think it's Alabama or Georgia or something like that. We're allowed to come back and play because it was a G League contract versus NBA. What's the difference? So I agree with you, Roc. If this moves forward, and the NCAA loses its appeal from this judge out of Louisiana. It's funny how this judge out of Louisiana, then the judge out of Mississippi, allowed Chambliss to come back for his 6th year. Those SEC state judges, for some reason, seem to always uphold their teams. But, I mean, you cannot allow this to happen. And to your point, the athletic directors and coaches have got to take a stand and not enable them to be allowed to come back.
And I think it's also, this puts a burden on these college coaches. You know, their rosters are filled, their scholarships are filled, they're ready to go. Week 1's in 9 days. You know, you're going to bump some kid who's been working his ass off because this kid is returning who you know, got drafted low or didn't get drafted. And, you know, what about the signing bonus problem, Manuch? You know, did they cash their check? Did they give it back? Does the NFL team release a guy, you know, because he's going back to play at, say, Ole Miss?
Good question.
Are those contract binding?
Good question.
I mean, this is going to get ugly really fast and chaos. And then we talked about it earlier, is the fact that the NIL and the transfer portal, you know, all that, the money that's there, but the transfer portal, particularly those windows, you know, what is the eligibility clocks? You know, you got all these different judges, you know. Okay, so we're talking about a judge in Louisiana. What about the judge that was in Denver? I mean, you got 5 judges in 5 states.
Sure.
Nobody can tell you who's eligible to play. You know, this is just, it's unbelievable.
And the thing is that they're all federal judges, and they've all had the appeal. I think one thing you brought up is if you've already got NIL money committed, that money is gone, and it's tough for you to bring anybody up. By the way, they can't enter the portal until the first week of January. So if these guys decide to leave and bet on the come, they've got to wait till January to go to any other school because that period's come and gone. So it's January and until the end of January where you designate where you're going. But I just think, you know, somebody's got to take a stand. If this goes through, then I really believe.
But you say that. Who's got enough pull to have a stand where people are going to follow?
Well,
I mean, are we going to get to the point where, I know you're going to hate what I'm about to say here, but is the President of the United States going to have to get involved? I mean, we have seen not just this president, but other presidents in the past to get involved in these kind of situations in college.
Well, you've got Save the College Sports Act that will be voted on hopefully here into September. They might be able to add that to the bill.
Yeah.
So that could be, to your point, maybe the government's got to say, wait a second, enough's enough.
Yeah.
Well, let's add that to the bill. I mean, the SEC and Big Ten have already negotiated everything out. So I think that'd be one more stipulation. And by the way, once you sign a pro contract, you're done.
Yeah.
So they could, I think, easily add that.
I don't know where these colleges are going to get the money if these guys are coming back.
That's
you know, like real quick. I know we got to go to break. Tyler Drake will join us here in a moment. But you know, I was at a Business Journal function today. Graham Rossini was one of the panels, and he was asked a question after they did the panel Q&A. Was private equity money? Would you? I mean, does Arizona State accept private equity money for college athletics? And he said no. And he did that because of the fact that I'm just ad-libbing a little bit, but he basically said it along the lines that, you know, the money that comes in, you know, they're investing and they want to turn their investment into profit and then get out.
To return.
He said he would rather have partners that are going to be, you know, going to help the foundation and help the growth and be, you know, be part of Sun Devil Nation forever, you know. So he may have to reconsider if you're going to need a quick fix and get this money back to take care of some of these guys and worry about the future later.
Well, they can earhole that once January hits because of all the other portal situations they could be. So this one is like, this goes through, and Wydett Williams Jr., the safety for the Cardinals, doesn't look like he's had any chance. He better ask for his release soon, but he's got to wait to enter the portal until January.
Well, he can just go back to the same school he's at.
Well, no, he can't.
If there's a spot.
Well. All right,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's
the whole point of this. He's part of it. He's part of that lawsuit.
Yeah, correct. He can go back to the same school, but if he does not want to go back to the same school, he's got to wait on the portal.
I think he's going to want to play.
Sure.
Right? You know,
get cash.
Get paid. Yeah. All right. Hey, Tyler Drake, Arizona Sports, join us next. Talk some Cardinal football. It's Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B, the Twin Peaks Camelback.
Living in the Valley of the Sun means we're always battling the heat on the golf course, at work, or just getting through the day. To stay sharp, you need more than energy. You need hydration. You need Phoenix Hydration Energy. spelled Phoenix, like the city we love. Phoenix gives you clean, natural energy from green tea, plus 3 times the electrolytes of leading sports drinks. No crash, no junk, just pure performance. Grab Phoenix Hydration Energy today at 7-Eleven, Quick Trip, or Circle K. Phoenix Hydration Energy. Rise up.
Arizona. Get ready for live music and golf under the lights. Saturday, September 12th, Yellow Jacket Overtime takes over grass clippings in Tempe. See Arizona native and national recording artist Sydney Bird live at 6:30. GA and VIP tickets, private seating, and night golf foursomes are available. Plus, every ticket supports Arizona classrooms through Wishes for Teachers. Yellow Jacket Overtime, September 12th. Tickets at yjovertime.com.
When hot is not an option, Stay Cool delivers. From patios to warehouses, shops to summer events, Stay Cool's Slim Cool Elite and Cool Cube mobile air coolers deliver more air for less money. They're rust-free and backed by more than 40 years of experience keeping you cool. Available now online at Home Depot, Lowe's, and Tractor Supply. Shipped to the store or right to your door. Visit staycool-products.com. Slim Cool Elite and Cool Cube. Get yours today with free shipping and beat the heat. Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice-cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Purple Wave Auction Box.
Hey there, folks. If you're buying or selling equipment, ride the wave.
Ride the wave. Purple Wave Auction makes it easy to sell.
Easy to buy. Construction, ag, fleet, and government equipment. All no reserve. All online.
All online.
Cruise on over to purplewave.com and get in the groove today.
Purplewave.com.
When driving in Arizona, move over or slow down for any flashing lights. Move over for tow truck drivers, highway crews, and emergency responders. Move over for any vehicle with its hazards flashing. Because at 65 miles per hour, a vehicle travels over 95 feet in 1 second. 1 second that could change everything. When you move over for anyone, you're not just doing it for them, you're doing it for their families. Their lives are flashing before your eyes. Move over, Arizona. Every vehicle, every time. It's the law. Please visit moveoveraz.org. This message is brought to you by
It's Thursday, and welcome to Lodge Mentality. The guys are live at Twin Peaks Phoenix, located at 21st Street in Camelback. Twin Peaks, the ultimate sports lodge and home of the 29-degree beer, served in perfectly frosted 22-ounce mugs. Here's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on ESPN 620.
Receivers left, single man right. Looking to the right side again. Fade, back shoulder throw. Another caught ball in the paint for a touchdown, Cardinals. And guess who? Jalen Brooks with his 6th catch of the game. Another touchdown for Arizona.
Yeah, that was last week against the Raiders. Joining us now, Tyler Drake, Arizona Sports, Cardinals reporter, editor, and co-host of AZ Cards Corner. You can follow him on X at T Drake for sports. Which chair are you sitting in right now? You know, we're remote. I heard you're in our studio. So where you at, Tyler?
Oh, I'm actually at Cardinals training facility.
Oh, all right. Well, my notes here, lads, is like Tyler is here, so I'm assuming that meant that you were in our studio. So, all right, cool. You're out working then, right? You're working.
I'm thinking about that 29-degree beer I just heard on the promo coming in. It's a nice 108 degrees outside right now.
There you go. Tyler's a pro there, but
sure,
he knows.
he's nailing it.
Take care of the Michelob Ultra sponsor, you know. All right, let's talk with the big one right away, Tyler. All right, Jeremiah Love. Okay, let's start with that one. High ankle sprain against the Raiders. We know all about that. Done for the preseason. What has been the latest on him, and what are you seeing him do to get ready for the season?
Yeah, that's the one thing I haven't been seeing is ever since that injuries popped up, we have not seen him on the practice field. Haven't seen him working on the side either. So that's going to be something to watch as we keep going. Obviously, I think there's enough time for him to get back in the mix by week 1, but I'm not going to be surprised if he enters that week with the questionable designation. We get all the way up to, the Friday before where we get some kind of definition of maybe he's playing, maybe it's a game time. Like, that is very much, I think, in the mix of a potential thing that could be coming because he's just not out there. That's one sign where it's like, okay, might be a little bit longer than we think, but at least there is some time before the regular season starts. But concern level consistently gets a little bit more with every day, every practice he's not out there.
So what will the running back look like? I mean, it looks like Bam Knight, Kiner, Hull, and a kid named Trey Stewart they must have just picked up. Are those the 4 that are viable, at least for right now? Because it looks like Algier, he's dinged up a little bit. So will those be those 4 running backs, be the guys these next couple of games, Tyler?
I think it'll be them. Maybe Tyler Algier gets a little bit of reps this week, but we did just talk to Michael Floor, and he said that, Jacoby's not playing, the starting offensive line's not playing. There is going to be a mix and match of starters, but it's not going to be the full brunt of them. So I would say probably expect for the names that you just listed to get a lot of run, especially a guy like Bam Knight, because I think he just needs one more game or two to solidify his spot on the roster.
So clarify who you said Jacoby's not going to start. Who's going to be starting offensively? Let's just start there.
Gardner Minshew. That's the one name that we were told that he will get to start this week, which that's something I kind of expected coming into this week. Is you gave it to Carson in the Hall of Fame game, which it does sound like he's not going to play, most likely won't play. He's still got that rib discomfort. He's going to be throwing after practice today, which he has not been doing that throughout practice since he came up with that injury. So that's going to be something to just keep an eye on for, I guess, the next week. But after seeing him start in the Hall of Fame game, you saw Jacoby start last week. It only made sense that Gardner gets this one, and I would expect Eden's probably going to get the last one. Maybe Gardner or maybe Carson gets back in the mix, but I would assume that's probably going to be the way they go about things the rest of the preseason from a quarterback standpoint.
And then how about the receiving core? A lot of the second teamers, any first teamers? Marv done for the preseason. What Mike Wilson? We know we won't see Trey McBride.
Yeah, we didn't get any info there, but I would expect to see a lot of Jalen Brooks. I'd expect to see a lot of Reggie Virgil. If we do see Marv or Michael, I would expect it to be very little. And yeah, like Trey, probably maybe one snap again, but I don't even think that's going to be the case. Keep him on ice till the regular season. You don't even see anything there.
Tyler Drake joining us here on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, ESPN Radio Phoenix. All right, Taylor, when you see this team in regards to the offense, it got the facelift, the new coach, the new toys, and all that kind of stuff. But the defense was so bad last year. No Calais Campbell now as the leader. Who's taking that spot in your opinion?
Oh, that's a good one. I don't know if you can say leader, but I think Andrew Wingard's the guy that came in and really provided a spark plug for this offense or this defense, especially in the back end. A lot of good talk has come out from Buda Baker. We got to talk to him this week, and it was a really good conversation with him. And you can just tell the guy very much is just all ball. He said that he likes to be a psycho white guy in the backfield or in the secondary, I should say. Because we asked him, because there's a lot of similarities with him and Dennis Gardeck. Obviously, you've got the long hair, and they actually played together in Jacksonville. And he's like, I don't want to be similar to Dennis because he's got the Viking teeth, but you always got to have a good psycho white boy on the team. And I thought that was, exactly that was what Dennis Gardeck was here. That's what he's been in Jacksonville. So Wingard's hopefully to be that guy. And I'll tell you right now, he's quickly inserted himself as the starter over there opposite of Buda Baker. So it's going to be really fun to watch how that all pans out. And you've still got Rabbit, who can be another, 3 safety set, maybe even a nickel guy if you needed it to. But that's the other thing, too, that Garrett Williams got activated off the PUP list. So that's one step forward in getting one of their best players back defensively. So that's a huge, huge news for today.
Tyler, Josh Sweat, our obligatory Josh Sweat question for the week. The very flippant answer from Mike LaFleur that, he was in the building and he was talking about some great restaurants in the Arcadia district. Did nobody follow up and press him at all about, okay, what's going on? Where's he? I mean, was that the only question asked about him?
No, I mean, we do follow up, and he always gives us the, he's not worried about him, and he'll be out there, and he's not concerned, and that's really kind of how he leaves it. We talked to him today, and again, we asked, about Tip Ryman. It doesn't sound like he's going to be ready for week 1, but then asked about Josh Sweat, and all Mike LaFleur told us was that he's looking good. So still some mystery there, and I think we're going to have some mystery until we see that official off pup list or somebody nationally breaks it, because we're not getting much out of the newsroom.
So if I was there, where does looking good mean, Coach? And then Coach. So what's the latest with trade room? I just keep peppering him, Tyler. Come on.
We've done it. We've done it. We've tried. We get the same song and dance. So now it's just kind of wait and see. We're gonna still ask about it, but we all, I think, know what the answer is gonna be.
All right, Tyler Drake, Arizona Sports here on Roc Manuch. You've covered both regimes now. LaFleur, Gannon, later practices, these 4-day blocks, different energy. What is maybe what's tangibly different about LaFleur's camp opposed to what Gannon was doing last year and before?
I feel like the buy-in has been there much more quickly than it was maybe earlier on. And then you also look and kind of see just the little stuff they're doing. Like there's a lot of offensive masterminding going on, but it's also just the little things like getting in and out of the huddle, making sure guys have a good handle on the football. Like the stuff that could really decide games that not a lot of us think about, maybe in the grand scheme of it. We're always thinking explosives, touchdown, sacks. Like it's the little stuff that I think he's really hammering on. That's really making an impression on a lot of these guys. Like Buda Baker has talked like very, very highly of just how he goes about his business. Marvin Harrison Jr. sounds like he's picking up things that he necessarily maybe didn't get with the previous regime, and just doing different things and doing more of what they're asking him to do, of just the get off and little things like that, and really trying to nitpick and get him to be the best that he can be. I think those are the things that really stand out, is like they are trying to get these guys better, and nothing to say against the other regime, but I do think that there's something about saying it, there's something about doing it, and the way that these guys are going about it, you can just see that there's tangible growth that's happening on the field.
Well, and Tyler, what I've been reading is that even though these guys aren't playing the preseason game, he's got them pushing up tempo, more aggressiveness, and more accountability from the mental side, whether on the defense or offense. It seems what I've been reading.
Yeah, exactly. And then when you're going full 11 on 11 most of the time throughout practices, that's only going to get guys more juiced up for competition. And I think that's been another thing, is like you're skipping out on the non-football, like not non-football, but not real football aspect of it. You're going straight into team and getting these guys into real game setting. I think that's really helping. And it's just such a little detail that I really do think is opening up maybe some other doors that maybe weren't open in the previous side of things.
And on top of that, how's the timing, chemistry look between Minshew and Brissett with the receivers?
Yeah, I mean, with Jacoby and Trey, they have not missed a beat. I think with everybody. I mean, Marvin looks like he's taking a step. Michael Wilson, I think you could have anybody back there and he's going to do his thing. So I think the timing's really good. I think Gardner, he's really been connecting with the guys on the second team, so I'm expecting a lot. Reggie Virgil plays a lot. I'm expecting him to go off. I'm expecting a guy like Jalen Brooks to continue to do his thing. It's a really fun battle in that wide receivers room, and I think the quarterback play is helping with that.
And looking at that battle, these guys are going at it. It's very interesting, even with the rookie, as you mentioned, looking at this receiving core. I'll be very curious, unless they've hinted to you, what's going to decide who stays and who goes, or maybe you put a couple of those guys on the practice squad.
Yeah, exactly. I think for the guys that are drafted, they've got a little bit of a leg up, just because I think another team would look at them. But I mean, Simi Fehoko is probably the preseason standout just because he catches a touchdown every game, it seems like. But that's the guy who they might be able to stash on the practice squad like they did last year. So there's going to be a lot of competition. And I mean, Jalen Brooks continues to do what he's doing. He might, stamp his 53-man roster ticket on Saturday when they get done with things. And then, yeah, obviously Reggie Virgil, I think he's got a spot there for sure, unless he really falls off or God forbid, goes down with an injury.
As we let you go, Tyler, I know you got a piece up on Arizona Sports about Minshew starting and Beck likely being out. What are you working on? What can we see maybe later tomorrow up on Arizona Sports?
Yeah. So I just did a look at some of the bubble guys that I think are in danger of some notable Cardinals draft picks that are in danger of missing the cut. And then I'll be looking at some guys who I think are going to be playing and maybe a deeper dive into what I need to see out of some of those guys that are on the lower end of the roster. So I got a lot of stuff coming. So, yeah, be sure to go on ArizonaSports.com.
Have a good one, buddy. Thank you for your time.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Yep. We'll drink one for you. That's Tyler Drake joining us here on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. As we continue talking some cards, we'll catch up with longtime NFL writer Howard Balzer. He'll weigh in on the preseason game against the Cowboys. And will this be the last time we really see some of these starters before opening day against Chargers? So we'll get into that next. Here's Vlad with another sports update here on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B.
It's now time for Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B's ESPN 620 Sports Center update. I'm Matt Lazarus. The D-backs are off today as they return home from a tough East Coast road trip against the Braves and the Red Sox. Arizona now gets a much-needed day off before opening a 3-game weekend set against the Cincinnati Reds at Chase Field as the Snakes look to get the homestand started on the right foot in what is a tight NL wild card race. This Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B Sports Update is powered by Twin Peaks, your ultimate sports lodge. Football season starts at Twin Peaks, so get your league together and host your fantasy draft party at your local lodge. And commissioners will get a $50 Twin Peaks gift card. Enjoy 29-degree Bud Light and Michelob Ultra drafts made from scratch food, wall-to-wall TVs, and everything that you need for draft day. So book your fantasy football draft party now at Twin Peaks, the ultimate sports lodge.
When it's game time in the Valley, you know what time it is. It's Twin Peaks time. Head to Twin Peaks with 5 Valley locations and massive screens everywhere you look. From basketball, baseball, to hockey, fights, and more, there's no better place to catch every play and all the action. Bud Light is a proud partner of sports fans everywhere. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
Join the team at All City Towing, Arizona's largest towing company and leader in roadside service. We're hiring dispatchers, call takers, lot attendants, drivers, and customer service pros ready to grow with us. You'll enjoy state-of-the-art equipment, consistent schedules, full health benefits, a strong 401k match, employer life insurance, and a monthly fuel allowance. Take your career to the next level. Apply today at allcitytowing.com. All City Towing, where your future is always moving forward.
I was in a wreck. I need a check. I was in a wreck. I need a check. I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm Attorney Kevin Rowe. Being in an auto accident is traumatic. You need to call the best law firm that has the experience to get you the best results. Call 977-1900. That's 977-1900.
Hey, it's Jimmy B. Football season is here, and there's never been a better time to grow your business. Partner right now with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, with live endorsement, show sponsorships, featured segments, remote broadcasts, and so much more. YouTube, social media, and commercials, all built around your goals and your budget. Visit rocandmanuch.com and click advertise. Let's grow your business together.
Looking for a meaningful way to engage in your community and make a difference?
Volunteer with the State Health Insurance Assistance Program, or SHIP.
We need your help to support your friends and neighbors as they enroll in Medicare for the first time.
Review plan options or troubleshoot problems with their health care.
SHIP has many volunteer opportunities. Whether it's conducting one-on-one counseling, speaking to groups, or providing office support, SHIP can find a role that's right for you.
For more information or to volunteer, visit azship.org. This project is supported by a grant from the U.S. Administration for Community Living, U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Home. It's more than a place. It's love, laughter, joy. It's where we belong.
Home is wherever you are, buddy.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you're not only giving them a home, you're finding yours too. You're finding love, laughter, and an unbelievable new best friend. Adopt your very own crypto. Visit bestfriends.org/Supergirl. And together, we will save them all.
He's been covering the National Football League for close to 50 years. A longtime NFL writer, broadcaster, and co-host of the Pro Football Hall of Fame show on SiriusXM. A Hall of Fame voter, Howard Balzer. Now on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on ESPN 620.
All right, not sure where to start with Howard today. You know, we can talk about the quarterback room. We can talk about the backfield being banged up. Josh Sweat. Let's start with Josh Sweat.
There you go.
Come on. You know, what do you got for us, Howard? Josh Sweat, what's the latest on him? He's been put on the PUP, for 26 days or something? It's been a long time.
The mystery of Josh Sweat.
Is anybody
Yeah.
worried?
I guess we should be, maybe. I mean, according to Mike LaFleur, he's looking good. Well, what does that mean? What does that mean? I mean, is he getting ready for a fashion show?
that he's looking good. It's actually been not 29 days that he's been on the PUP list, and I don't know that we know anything more now than we did when it all began. And I know it's funny. I hear everybody saying, "Well, he's not." Monty Oxenford said that, when he was asked if Sweat had asked for a trade earlier this offseason, he said, "Well, he didn't answer that, of course, and said, well, we're not interested in trading him." Well, of course you're going to say that. What is the GM going to come out and say? Well, yeah, he asked for a trade. We're trying to trade him. Well, obviously nobody ever says that, because then you're not going to get any value for him. But to be out this amount of time with the regular season, getting here, pretty, the cut to 53 when a decision has to be made on him and Tip Ryman about whether to keep him on PUP or to get him on the roster. That's 10 days away. I mean, the roster reduction to 53 was on August 30th, and then, a week from the following day is the first practice of the prep week for week one. So, yeah, I think there should be some concern, but I guess we just have to wait and see. If there's good news on that PUP list, it was, to me, somewhat remarkably, that Garrett Williams was removed from the PUP list today. Guys, it's almost exactly 8 months since he tore up his Achilles tendon on December 21st against the Falcons. And here we are on August 20th, virtually exactly 8 months later, and he's been taken off the list. Now, they're going to go easy with him. It's going to be day-to-day and all that. But just the fact that they removed him from that today, I think, speaks volumes of how hard Garrett Williams has worked to get back and be able to play football.
Yeah, it's interesting. Him at that slot corner. It looks like when he comes back, everybody will be good to go when they open up against the Chargers. And then the big question mark, obviously, is Josh Sweat. So, last question about Sweat. Has he even been showing? Has he even at practices and just walking around? I mean, does Mike before even say he's making progress with the knee or this or that? I mean, it's just so vague. To me, it's so vaguely obvious that they're trying to work a deal and then just keep him on the down low. To me, that's just my opinion, Howard.
No, that's what it seems. Now, unless there truly is an injury and they just want to make sure all that, they don't want to take any chances. I mean, we just don't get a lot of, information on that. Mike before did give a little more information today on Tip Ryman, who had a tough foot or ankle injury early last season. He's also on PUP, and the interesting thing today, LaFleur was asked point blank, do you still expect Tip Ryman and Josh Sweat to be available week one? And he said, Ryman's progressing, but no. He said, no, I don't expect that, he won't be ready for week one. And all he said on Josh Sweat was looking good, and then moved on to, other topics. So that's all we're told. And until we really know anything otherwise, we can speculate all we want, but, we'll see, and obviously it appears to be a situation that very likely there were trade talks. There were teams that maybe expressed interest, but the Cardinals never felt they were getting enough value to trade him. Now we don't know that. That's speculation also, but it certainly seems likely or very possible that that's what's happened throughout the offseason.
Okay, here's the other great mystery. James Conner. How is that progressing? What is progressing? Where's that status at as of today?
Yeah, that's another great question. I mean, at least he's out there. He takes part in drills. He just hasn't done 11 on 11. And LaFleur intimated the other day that this is a James Conner decision, is that when he feels good enough to be able to participate in those things, then he will. He said he knows his body better, than anyone. So if there was still an injury and there was still true issues with it, then he would have been put on PUP also, but he wasn't. And so that becomes a big question with the whole situation involving Jeremiah Love.
Sure.
Because we don't know if he'll be available for week one. This high ankle sprain, from what I'm told, it's mild, But even a mild high ankle sprain, which is grade 1, is about 2 to 4 weeks. Well, 2 to 4 weeks would be great if he's back on practicing and working on August 27th. But 4 weeks takes you right into that first week of prep for game 1. So if he's not ready, and those high ankle sprains can be very difficult, then you've got Tyler Algier, and do you have James Conner available? Trey Benson has been back working, but not in 11 on 11. So all of a sudden, what looked like a deep running back room, all of a sudden could have some issues when the season opens.
Howard Balzer joining us here, CardsWire, USA Today, on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, the right sort of guest line. All right, when you look at these, you've been covering this team since they were in St. Louis, but over the last, say, decade or two, you've seen different coaches that have been here running the show. We look as far back as just, I don't want to go as far back as the Buddy Ryan years, but when you just look about, say, the last decade, how do you see this coach LaFleur running the show compared to the others? What's the biggest difference?
I wasn't here, obviously, for Steve Wilkes.
Okay.
And
that 1 year.
You
missed that 1 year. You missed that 1 year.
Yeah. Lucky you.
Yeah,
Lucky you, Howard.
1 year.
But, in all honesty, and I know a lot of people don't agree with me, I thought Jonathan Gannon, ran the team well.
Okay.
I think what we're seeing here with LaFleur, obviously the offensive orientation is something that all the players talk about, all the different things they're doing on offense, where you can be running the same play a lot of times, but it has it has a lot of different looks to the same play to make it difficult, for the defense. We're obviously not seeing a lot of that preseason, but we expect to during the regular season. But I think he's holding players accountable. Everyone talks about that, he's real, he's authentic. It's the way he is. And so I think he's done a nice job. The reality is last year, as bad as things got with all the injuries, they still lost. Even though there were some blowouts in the second half of the season, they still had a bunch of close losses. I think they were something like 2-8 or 2-7, maybe in games decided by one score or less. And if you turn around 3 of those, they win 6. Gannon might not have been fired, but that's not saying that the LaFleur won't do a good job. But I think from what we've seen, the way he deals with a lot of things, he tries to be as open and as honest as he can be. And so I think he's done a nice job in year 1. And certainly a lot of that can be traced to his relationship with his brother, learning from him, having worked for Kyle Shanahan, having coached under Sean McVay. I think all those things have been positive for him. But once again, as we all know in the NFL, you better have healthy players, and you better have players who are able to make those plays in close games to win in the fourth quarter, rather than losing a lot of those close ones, which the Cardinals obviously did last year, despite those blowouts that I mentioned.
Howard, if a lot of starters don't go this week, probably not any of them go next week, that will technically be 4.5 weeks before they take on the LA Chargers over in LA. Has anybody broached the question for Mike LaFleur, how he's going to get his team ready? What kind of work, or how are they going to get the work in so that they're fairly game sharp if they're not going to be playing for technically 4.5 weeks?
Well, it's true of most every team. Every team does things very similar to each other. They are going to have the joint practice with the Packers next week prior to the preseason game there. And there will be starters playing this week. Jacoby Brissett won't play. Some guys like probably Paris Johnson, maybe Buda Baker, guys like that. A certain amount of the starters won't play, but a bunch of them that will be starting in week 1 will probably play this week. And who knows, some of them might play the following week also. We'll have to wait and see. But the Cardinals aren't doing anything different, than other teams. But it's also one of the reasons why, especially offensively, we see teams get off to slow starts a lot of times.
Correct.
When the regular season opens. But I think they'll be about as ready as they can be. And I know that sounds vague, but that's pretty much just the way it goes in the NFL, the way all teams run their operation.
All right, I know we're jumping around with you a little bit today, but I want to get back to I'm just so intrigued by the organization in the years. And, of course, your St. Louis roots with this team, but this team hasn't sustained anything in 10 years, right? It's been 2015. It's been a long time. What do you think in your experience, covering the NFL in general and being on NFL SiriusXM radio and everything you've done? What's one, say, structural thing, not a player, not a coach, that you think, in your opinion, your humbled opinion, that needs to change for the Cardinals, operation, to get this thing turned around if they can?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I think one of the big things is to have, consistency with, the coaching and all those things. And that's the one thing, we haven't seen. Obviously, the last two situations that I was here for all of it, was, except for the first year of Cliff Kingsbury, was that they showed progress in the first, 2 or 3 seasons that Kingsbury was the head coach, and made the playoffs in one of that one season. And then they had a big step back for a variety of reasons that were beyond Kingsbury's control, I believe. And so they're changing the head coach, trying to go in a different direction. Then the same thing happened with Jonathan Gannon. You showed progress in your second year, and then the third year they were one of the most injured teams I've ever seen in the NFL. Lose a lot of close games. Time to change again. And that has been the biggest history of this Cardinals organization going back more than a decade. I mean, that's why the winningest head coach in the franchise history has 50 victories. 50. And that was pretty sure that's Bruce Arians, right?
Yes.
And so that's just, you're constantly changing head coaches. And when you do that, and I know whenever a team's not losing, the fan base is going nuts. Trying to change the coach, trying to change this. But sometimes I think as an owner, you've got to push your way through that. If you believe that the guys doing the job are doing as well as they can with what they have. And I think that's been the one thing that's been missing for a long, long time. And so, they've had 2 coaches in history, Ken Wisenhunt and Jim Hannafin back in St. Louis, who coached the team for 6 years. And Wisenhunt, of course, got him to a Super Bowl, but then Kurt Warner retired, and then he got a couple of probably bonus years because of the Super Bowl, and then they fired him. And they didn't have a quarterback who could play. And so, those are the things that you need, and the consistency and the players around them, and give people time to put together a program. And that just continually doesn't happen.
Was that Denny Green's team that he took to the Super Bowl? Come on, that was Denny Green's.
That's what everybody says, Howard.
That was
Denny's
team. Come on, Wisenhunt just took it over. Come on. Howard, we love having you on, buddy. Thanks for the time. Have a good weekend.
All right, guys. You too. Take care.
That's Howard Balzer, of course, Pro Football Hall of Fame voter. Been covering the Cards for 44 years, 50 years, somewhere around there. You can catch him on the CardWire and USA Today, SiriusXM Radio. He's driven today by Wright Honda. Wright Honda in Scottsdale. Huge selection, no games, no pressure, sales, service, parts, all under one roof. Shop the whole lot at WrightHonda.com. That's WrightHonda.com. All right, we got our Learner Row one call, that's all. And that'll be Tori Lavello from last night. So we'll play that for you next. Of course, we're going to talk about Michel Marte and the Lakes. It's Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B. From Twin Peaks, Camelback.
Game on Peoria. When it's time to eat big, drink cold, and watch every play, make it Big's American Bar and Grill in the P83 district. Big's is serving up huge portions of your favorites. Burgers, wings, nachos, plus a full bar and TVs everywhere you look. And don't miss happy hour Monday through Thursday, 3 to 6:30 p.m. with $2 off well drinks and $2 off domestic drafts, plus daily specials all week long. Bring your friends, grab a seat on the patio, and settle in for the game. Big's American Bar and Grill, where Peoria comes to play, eat, and watch.
Rock for WrightToyota.com. At Wright Toyota, they'd like you to get to know them. Their goal is to make buying your next vehicle the kind of experience that earns your recommendation to family and friends. They invite you to use all their innovative web tools on WrightToyota.com. So if you're looking for a new or pre-owned Toyota, head to their interactive website at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection, all at WrightToyota.com.
Arizona. Get ready for live music and golf under the lights. Saturday, September 12th, Yellow Jacket Overtime takes over grass clippings in Tempe. See Arizona native and national recording artist Sydney Bird live at 6:30. GA and VIP tickets, private seating, and night golf foursomes are available. Plus, every ticket supports Arizona classrooms through Wishes for Teachers. Yellow Jacket Overtime, September 12th. Tickets at yjovertime.com.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm Attorney Kevin Rowe. Getting rear-ended once is bad enough. Don't let the insurance company hit you again with a lowball offer. Call an experienced attorney who knows how to fight and win. Call Lerner and Rowe today. 977-1900.
This September, Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B are live Fridays at DraftKings Sportsbook at TPC Scottsdale for the Friday Football Lock-In. Pick 5, take the call-in challenge, and win cash. Fridays 1 to 4, only on ESPN Phoenix 620.
Football fans, it's time to draft your team and kick off another season. This year, take your fantasy football draft party to Twin Peaks. Cold drinks, made from scratch food, wall-to-wall TVs. Round up your league, grab a table, and get ready for the picks, the rivalries, and a full season of bragging rights. Start your fantasy season at Twin Peaks. Book your draft party at your local lodge today.
Get ready for Give-a-thon. Arizona's kids need you, and we'll share some incredible stories of hope beginning August 17th. Thanks to Mattamy Homes. The Give-a-thon is presented by your Valley Hyundai dealers and Why Refi.
It's the Lerner and Rowe one call, that's all call of the day. If you're looking for a full-service law firm, just make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. Lerner and Rowe, voted Arizona's best law firm.
We're going to be fine no matter who's in that lineup. And we got 26 engaged dogs out there that want to win a baseball game, and that's all I care about. And I will put in the best players that I possibly can that are going to focus and execute to win baseball games. This is a big boy league, and you got to win baseball games, and that's what we do every single night. We try to win every game we play.
Torey Lovello, after last night's game at the win over Boston, so they got 1 of the 3 on where they go if Ketel Marte is no longer on this team. That is our Lerner Rowe one call. If you've been injured in an accident, don't try to handle it alone. Lerner Rowe has been voted Arizona's best personal injury law firm year after year. In a wreck, you can check, make one call, you know the number. 602-977-1900. You can visit lernerandrowe.com. Of course, we're talking a little bit about, a lot about the Ketel Marte situation with the Diamondbacks. And, the question there's few that you throw out is, how do you go from missing one game for a personal matter to a GM refusing to guarantee he plays again this year? That's a massive jump if you think about it over 72 hours. I mean, what does that tell you?
Well, and I think when he was talking about trades the other day, that when you're looking to trade somebody, what's frustrating is, he really didn't say this, but you kind of hear in his voice is, you want to trade somebody, but the other side, what will they give you? But also the drama that surrounds players. Do they want to deal with that? And he somewhat hinted the other day when they talked about, hey, things can get very frustrating, especially, when you're looking to trade somebody, but it's not so much trading the individual for other players. It's somebody not taking that baggage on, or that minutia that surrounds a player is very frustrating. And, we heard the rumors in the offseason, Rock. They're trying to, allegedly trade him, move off of him.
Last couple of years.
Yeah, they really have. I mean, if that's a constant, there's something there. And I think for Mike Hazen, I think the frustration boiled over. I think they're saying enough is enough. We've got to make a move. We got to make a move. We've got to set precedent here that you can have issues and personal problems or whatever, but communication responsibility, accountability is utmost if we're going to help you and move forward.
I think there could be a scenario where, the inside baseball people, the GMs, they know what's going on. And maybe he tried to trade him the last couple of years.
Well,
no
I think
one
he
wanted him.
And that's what he hinted at when they spoke.
And then the challenges he had on trade, where he wants to be traded or not be traded.
Sure, that the guys, I mean, you get these baseball races. If someone's looking to buy for basically a wild card spot or just win the division, they can't have any question marks, Roc.
I agree. One thing I think you got to look at, I mean, how much more can this team take? I mean, you look at this season alone, the setback with Burns, Puck, obviously the setback, Soroka, Nelson, Gallen, all banged up. Cattell and Carroll both were slumping earlier this year at the same time. Nothing really happened at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
And they're still in the race. Question is, what is this rubber band made of? I mean, it's going to snap.
Yeah, I think
it's got to snap.
I think the one thing, just when guys were coming back, Martinez comes back. It looks like Corbin Burns may be back, hopefully the next 2 or 3 weeks. Everybody's getting healthy. A lot of the guys have been down in AAA. Fernandez has been down. He's playing pretty good baseball. All of a sudden, they're starting to become whole. And then this thing happens with Marte, and I think that's the frustrating part. I give Troy Lavelle a lot of credit. I know he's on the hot seat for handling, keeping this team together, keeping them focused as best he can. I mean, sometimes you're given a knife in a gunfight. All right, you got to go deal with it the way you can. So I think Torrey is doing a great job. But this whole thing has been the biggest mystery I've ever heard, where a CEO, president, Derek Hall, general manager, can't get the bottom of it within a 2 or 3 day period.
All right, but we also don't know what they're not telling the media. They don't have to tell the media.
No, they don't.
Everything.
They don't.
And I know, the guys next door, 98.7, they're asking the right questions.
Sure.
And, they're partners, they air the games and all that stuff. But, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Derek Hall is the most open, transparent guy, that we know, right? Outstanding. But he still has boundaries that he needs to stay within.
Yeah, there's HIPAA laws, there's all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I think if I'm a GM or I'm a president, and I know Derek said he was at the hotel. He stayed at the hotel Monday, and Monday night
didn't even go to the game.
Didn't go to the game, and Cattell was there in his room.
Allegedly.
So it's almost as if hey, can we talk? Why are we not talking? I guess that's frustrating for me, and as a fan, why hasn't there been any face-to-face with representatives or people to resolve this mystery?
We're going to hear something sooner. I mean, I thought we would by now, but we haven't.
Nothing new.
I know everybody's working it, and when we find out, I hope it's not horrible.
Yeah, I do too. Hey, tomorrow, Wright Toyota will catch up with radio analyst for the D-back, Tom Candiotti. Talk to him about this week. Maybe he might know some of the time. Park University's Ben Zivers will join us. Sports handicapper Scott Spreitzer, former Cardinal Raider. Your old partner, Bill Lewis. Nice. Will join us manana.
That's when the show was good. Roc and Lou.
Oh, Roc.
Roc and Lou was a good show back in the day. Good stuff there. Hey, thanks to Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Part of our partner.